guys? Welcome to Gray Area 46.
Bienvenidos.
Rex Jones, Tim Tompkins here breaking it down with y'all tonight. We have a really fun show. We're about to interview Jose Vega. We're going to talk to him about local politics, real man on the street, citizen journalist type stuff, which I'm a really big fan of. I did a lot of that as a kid. But of course, the thing everyone's talking about, bigger than a war almost, Epstein File.
Epstein.
What's up with that?
We will not let this die.
No. I've been going under people's posts for months and be like, where are the Epstein Files? Where are the Epstein Files? No one cares about this. Where are the files? A lot of stuff is finally out now, and a lot of it's real sus looking. A lot of it's little hinky, but it's so bizarre and it's so crazy. And a lot of it is from him that it really makes you think, huh?
I'm so nervous to even talk about some of the people that are on the list.
Oh yeah.
Like that like I had to let that sit in. I had to think to myself, do I put this on the episode tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Do I cover this? Will Mossad or somebody else be at our door by tomorrow?
Well, the good thing is there's safety in numbers, and a lot of great people are covering this story. I saw Due Dissidents cover it. Harrison was really breaking it down on InfoWars today, filling in with my dad. It's a lot of incredible information, and a lot of it dates back to stuff that happened in the 2010s and before that people covered at the time and pointed out at the time and were accused of being crazy, of being lunatic asylum, but now it's all kind of coming out, the truth about all these things. And what we have is I have a selection of clips and whatnot. You have the Justice Department documents referencing all these various people with the various links, right?
Oh, yeah. I went straight to the source. I didn't want to. I didn't want anybody to misconstrue the data or the information. I wanted it all.
Right.
So, like, we're not playing games here, guys. We're covering everything tonight.
Yeah, that Epstein's an interesting character. He's got all kinds of weird theories and neuroses and crazy behaviors.
100%.
And we're not necessarily going to react to it tonight, although I think I have a clip of it or two. Tim's going to step out for a second. We're not necessarily going to react to it tonight, but Epstein did a series of interviews with Steve Bannon in 2019 that Bannon has been saying, oh, I'll release it, whatever, at some point soon, right? And a 2-hour portion of that, it's not even the whole thing, has come out, and it's completely bizarre. I made the mistake of trying to listen to some of it before bed last night. He's a very creepy guy. It's very off-putting and very weird, but I've got a couple selections from that. Of course, we've got the full cover-up, and that's something that Tim did a really good job of doing the news roundup on. People like Kash Patel, people like Dan Bongino, people like, what's the guy's name? Todd Blanche. That's right. I almost forgot. Todd Blanche. Pam Bondi and all sorts of, creatures of Washington trying to diminish this. But people are like, this is the biggest story in the country. Everyone knows about this, right? Yeah. So there's no possible way for you to diminish it at all.
No, we'll keep covering it. They released a crap ton, almost 3 million is plus 3 million. And they royally messed up, by the way, on the redactions here too. I don't know who's in charge of that. They need to be fired.
The greatest team alive. I have the best people, the most incredible people in the world.
They need to be fired.
Wait, my name is in there. It's wrong. It's coming out. You're fired. And then, well, it's interesting. It's fun. Let's see what the people are saying in the chat. Let's check in with our audience tonight. What's up, Maureen? How are you doing? It is beyond disturbing.
Let me pull this up full screen. There we go.
It's essential to say, or evening, fellas, seems like a bit of it could lead to a lot of frivolous lawfare, though. Regarding what?
He's talking about the files itself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody's getting arrested. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it's not. No one's going to get arrested. No one's going to do jail time. Ultimately, they're not going to release the actual names of the people. You talk about messed up redactions and, of course, some errors there. But this administration will do nothing. They will do nothing. They will release the Melania movie. Did you see this? We're like, oh, the first lady is incredible, and she's walking around, and she has money, and it's cool, and like hordes of like elderly white women are showing up and being like, this is it, this is lit. But of course, our audience are real thinking people, so they're like, okay, this isn't necessarily the biggest story in the world right now. But I saw Jack Posobiec posting about this at like 11. I was like, what are you even doing? Like, and of course, like, oh, Epstein Files are out. Epstein Files are out. And it's like, yeah, like, but you've been helping the administration carry water about this because they wanted people to forget about this.
They wanted to.
Where did this come from? Do you know who made the decision?
Honestly, I think this all started with the release that they had in terms of that vote in Congress. I think it was like the vote on Epstein release files.
So this was the result of that?
Yes, because if you look at it, they said they have a 30-day time frame. And they're like legally binded as Senate. That's both the Senate and the House confirmed it, right? So this is all downstream of that. and the DOJ has to comply because this
Right.
has to do with Congress demanding something. And they hold ultimate power in this because everybody's voted and the president signed it.
Oh, I'm just thinking about some of the clips I've seen of people, coming out against this and trying to get more information. Like, I'm thinking of Massey being like, we have the clip for you if we maybe want to show it now about, Rape Island.
Yeah, go ahead. Let Andrew go ahead. Go ahead and pull that up.
It's so absurd. And I'm glad that we at least have him and at least a couple other people to call this out. And there have been people like Ro Khanna, like across the aisle, that have been pushing, for the victims to get the justice they deserve. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Because ultimately, like, this is the ultimate litmus test. Is like, either you cover up for people that are literally, it's on record, ritualistically selling, sacrificing, torturing, don't even want to say who, little ones. Like, it's beyond anything. And like, we talk about it, we try to make light of some of these things because humor disarms, a lot of the real deep, dark underbelly of the species. But this is some really heavy stuff tonight.
Yeah. And as I was literally looking through this, pulling the files, reading them all, because I was like, all right, we got to make sure everybody has all the information. I found myself sitting there like,
it's horrible.
Heavy. Like I was like breathing kind of hard. I'm like sitting there kind of sweating. I'm like, the worst of the files, we're going to be covering those after our guest tonight.
Yes.
But you guys don't want to go anywhere.
No.
I promise you, whatever you're going to see is going to be, they might have already reported it, or you may not have seen this yet, but we're still going to cover it.
Right.
Go ahead and play this clip, Andrew.
Decades. That is wrong. Do not let the Senate muck this bill up. And if you're a party to that in the Senate, you are part of this cover-up that we are trying to expose. I am sorry if one of your billionaire donors is going to get embarrassed because he went to Rape Island. That is what they have coming. In fact, they need to be on the other side of bars, a lot of them. Some of them will be embarrassed, but some of them need to go to prison, and the survivors know that. So how will we know if this bill has been successful? We will know when there are men, rich men, in handcuffs being perp-walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up. Decades. That is wrong. Do not.
I mean, that shouldn't be too complicated. That's really basic. If you go to Rape Island, sorry, we'll use the word grape.
Grape.
If you go to the Grape Island, then like I'm sorry, you got to go to prison at least. Like, the penalty for treason in the country is hanging someone. Hanging someone isn't like a barbaric medieval thing. It's what we did for a very long time for people that did capital crimes. They killed people.
This stuff makes Diddy look like a saint.
Blessed with baby oil. Absolutely. Compared to the things that have come out.
I mean, at least he had adults. It's not good, but like at least he had adults in the room, and it was like consensual, somewhat, maybe not in certain circumstances. But like, there's no. It's even worse when you go to younger.
It's so dark that it makes even something horrible look like it's just like a misdemeanor. You know what?
100%.
And it's crazy. And like you said, we'll get to the files and we'll get to other stuff. This is someone that they tried to cover up. They tried to say that basically he didn't exist. Do we have the Cash Patel clip?
Yeah, we've got that.
Yeah.
But well, no. I want to save that.
You want to save that?
I want to save that
presentation.
We've got a whole section of all the gaslighting they did to us, guys.
All right, we'll save that.
Every moment of gaslighting.
But let us not forget, Bongino and Patel come out, and it's the first big statement, and everyone's waiting with bated breath about what's going to happen. And they go, Bongino goes, I've seen the file. He killed himself. He killed himself. I've seen the file. I'm Dan Bongino. I'm Mr. Bongino. And then Cash Patel is sitting there like even him, he's like, you're doing a bad job. He's like looking over at him. And Trump's like, if you don't take this seriously, you're not MAGA. Like, if you don't believe in this, and everyone's like, yes, sir, Trump.
It was only the Democrats.
Yeah. And then Pam Bondi's like, I have the files on my desk. I have them, meaning like the names of the people.
Right.
And then it's like, what desk? What are you talking about? I never.
Right.
You're making stuff up now, kid. And it's just we're sat here and we get insulted over and over and over again. And it's out there, right? Like, they have teams at the FBI that review this kind of horrific material.
Yeah.
Because ultimately people do have to go to jail when they commit these crimes. And sadly, a lot of people commit these crimes.
Only certain kind of people.
Exactly.
Right, Rex?
Yeah. People that aren't green, that don't have a bunch of money. They'll get them. But if you're a billionaire, if you're doing it on Grape Island, it's basically signed off on.
Help me understand that, and not to segue, but what's this whole Pizzagate thing that you were showing me earlier?
For sure, we should let's go ahead and pull that up. It's Pizzagate Truth News Report. We'll watch this 5-minute piece. I thought it was an excellent breakdown. I can go into it a little more after we're done rolling that. But the main thing you have to remember is a lot of people got very close in the 2010s to figuring a lot of this stuff out, because in WikiLeaks, there's a guy named John Podesta, real deep state creature monster, and he was involved with people like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, Huma Abedin, a lot of other people, and they would do these spirit cooking rituals with this lady named Marina Abramovich. And that sounds crazy and schizo if you're a normie and you're hearing these things. This is like widely known, well known. Basically, it's like a fake eating of a body, or like playing with blood of like a cadaver or something that's not real. But they do these things. It's called spirit cooking. It's real. You can look it up. They have parties, galas about it to raise money for charity and stuff. Like it's beyond anything. But language in those emails came out, and what it referred to was pizza, cheese. Obama ordered $65,000 worth of hot dogs. Hot dog is a slang term for a young boy. And like all the presidents, it seems, are involved in this, at least for what's coming out in the files. And we don't know truly how much of it is to be believed, but this weird kind of pseudo-coded, like satanic language they use to describe children, it's all over these old emails, and it's the exact same language in these new files.
Oh, straight smoke. The reason why I don't know about Pizzagate is for a long time, I kept myself far removed from news and everything. Like, I've been back into the news within the last 5 years because I had to pay attention because it was immediately
right.
But like most of the stuff I used to consume in terms of media was like mostly educational, which is why I know a lot about things, is because that was like my regular occurrence.
You know,
so
maybe it's a good
I never
weren't exposed to this horrific
I was about to
shit.
say, yeah, like for me, I made it in my mind. I was like, look, there's a lot of slop in the news and there's nothing I can do about it right now. So I don't want to pay attention to it. Like,
right.
To be honest, like I don't, it doesn't bring me any value.
We can talk about like the position, that position, and we can go like, no, you have to be noble warrior for justice all the time and slay dragons. It's like, well, you're trying to live your life, trying to go to school, not 100%. Necessarily need to learn about, you know, the PDF file rings under the
it doesn't bring me any net positive, right? Like,
but now it does.
Now
we're talking to the audience.
Exactly. Now we have the platform that we need to give people the truth. I need to be informed on these things.
And it's fun in the same way that it's fun when when you know about something that I don't know about, like when I can give you some background on these things and also learn as well myself, because revisiting these things, like this was the thing that really precipitated everyone getting banned off the internet. This was the thing, at least for us. Like a few months after we talked about this, we were off the internet, basically.
Really?
Yeah. So, and they were like, basically what happened, there's this place called Comet Pizza, right? And their logo was literally the PDF file logo. It was the same like triangle cheese pizza thing that's like used in like the PDF file community to mean that thing.
Wow.
Right. And people were talking about this online. That guy had a relationship, I believe, with Podesta's brother, and he was on some sort of like business list as like a powerful and influential man. Like he was connected. He knew people. Someone came to Comet Pizza, fired one shot, which destroyed the computer. And then whatever happened to that guy, he may have gotten killed. I don't know. The owner of the pizza shop. The point being is like, it was this mysterious sequence of events that really didn't make any sense. And it's just like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're being a monster. You're saying people are PDF files. And that's like the worst accusation you can make about someone. And it's just all the same language that was being used at those times and came out in those emails is being used now. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Go ahead and roll it.
¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo no estaba enterada de nada. Que había, o sea, de los asesinatos sí, pero que habían comido humanos. ¡Humanos!
This is another famous video. This is of a girl that disappeared after making these claims and accusations. I think she was also a famous star. I think it's Pizzagate Truth News Report. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, let me pull this.
Or not. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the link below. It's not the link above. That was my error.
Okay.
But I really want to show this. It's Pizza.
Oh yeah, it says Lane. This one. This one?
Oh man.
No, I think you got your link off.
Oh, I don't know about that. Damn. That sucks. That was a really good one. We'll see if we can figure it out. Maybe it's above. Yes, it's above.
Okay, Andrew,
sorry.
I'm going to copy and paste this to you, all right?
But this is a really phenomenal breakdown, and this guy got fired and lost his job after he did this report.
I'll put it above Rex's opening.
You're awesome, Andrew. Thank you.
I just put it on there.
Ooh, it's that's the
what the oh, I copied and pasted on my own computer.
It's all good. That's hilarious.
I got a computer next to me. I got you, Andrew. Yeah, I mean,
once you see this, I think it's
go ahead, Andrew. It's at the very
sense.
top of that doc. There you go. Yeah, I mean, look. Yes, it is. Go ahead and pull that up. Thanks for bearing with us, guys.
A major story weeks ago when an armed man decided to investigate a D.C. area pizza place for himself. This man right here, he carried a rifle into a pizza parlor and then fired it at the floor. Media is telling you the entire story is a hoax or fake news. But what does that even mean? I spent the last month investigating. So what exactly is Pizzagate? And are there any actual facts to support this story? I've got to warn you, what we're going to talk about tonight will be disturbing to some people. But this is a reality check you won't see anywhere else. Pizzagate actually comes from the WikiLeaks release of hacked emails from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. In all, WikiLeaks dumped around 50,000 email messages, and it was from those emails that the claims that John Podesta may be part of a child sex trafficking ring come from. Now, to be clear, not one single email in the Podesta emails discusses child sex trafficking or pedophilia. That is a fact. But there are dozens of what seem to be strangely worded emails dealing with pizza and handkerchiefs. Self-described online investigators say that those words in the emails about pizza and the talk of handkerchiefs is code language used by pedophiles. So how did a D.C. pizza parlor get pulled into the story? Well, again, read any mainstream report, and they indicate that Comet Ping Pong Pizza was somehow linked to this fake story and has no relation to anyone involved. But the truth is, that's not true either. What media is ignoring is that the Comet Ping Pong Pizza place is actually referenced in the Podesta emails at least a dozen or so times, and that the owner of that place, James Alfantis, is a friend of John Podesta. He was actually named, this is kind of strange, by GQ magazine as one of the top 50 most powerful people in Washington. Yes, we're talking about a pizza parlor owner. Now let's talk facts here. There is no solid evidence that Comet Ping Pong Pizza is being used to run a child sex trafficking ring. But there are some very strange connections between Comet Ping Pong Pizza and a second pizza place 2 doors over, Besta Pizza, and the accusations of pedophilia. Now, this is where things start to get strange when you research this story. Now, to begin, I need to show you a 2007 unclassified FBI document. That document, according to the FBI, contains commonly used symbols by pedophiles to express their preference in children. I want you to see these images here. These are the images. Notice this one on the end, the triangle. That image signifies something called boy love. The pizza place next door to Comet Ping Pong Pizza, Besta Pizza, well, this was their logo until only a few weeks ago. Clearly, you can see that the Besta logo actually contains the same image, I'm going to show you again, as that boy lover image. Interestingly, after Pizzagate investigators pointed this out, Besta Pizza changed their logo, and there it is now. They've removed the triangle. Also, Comet Ping Pong, owned by Alfantis, is the place where a number of performance artists perform regularly. 2 of the groups that perform there, who you can see advertised, by the way, on this Comet Ping Pong poster, include a group called Heavy Breathing and another group called Sex Stains. Well, if you check out the YouTube videos by these bands, Heavy Breathing has songs that do joke about pedophilia, and the band Sex Stains has a video that includes, and you see it right there, that same boy lover symbol. It's nearly identical to the one that the FBI does say is a pedophile code symbol for boy love. As I said, there are some strange things there. As for the owner of the pizza place, James Alfantis, well, he was one time in a relationship with David Brock, who ran Media Matters for America. Well, since Pizzagate began to blow up online, he has made his Instagram profile, Jimmy Comet, private. But an archive search of Instagram reveals a number of strange photographs and words with strange and disturbing images associated with them. Look, to the point where we can't show you those pictures. We're not even going to describe them to you because some viewers would find it too disturbing to share on TV. Now let's talk about the Podesta brothers, because remember, it was John Podesta's email that was hacked. In those leaked Podesta emails, John Podesta talks about his close relationship with Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House, who was recently sentenced to 15 months in prison for abusing boys years ago. He was referred to by the judge as a serial child molester. According to the Washington Post, visitors to Tony Podesta's home in Falls Church got an eyeful when they walked into a bedroom at the Podesta residence hung with multiple color pictures by Katie Grannon, a photographer known for documentary-style pictures of naked teenagers in their parents' suburban homes. And to be clear, that just begins to scratch the surface of how strange some of this stuff is. And bear in mind, we can't get into a lot of the real details of it because of the limits on broadcasting this on television. But it is some very strange stuff. Now keep in mind, again, there is no proof here that there is a child sex ring being operated out of a D.C. pizza parlor. Investigators have already proven there's nothing to the story, right? Well, actually, no. And that's what you need to know. For all that is here, there has not been one single public investigation of any of this. Not from local police, not from the FBI, no one. And that has to be the big question. Not for Podesta or for pizza parlor owners, but for law enforcement. Based on what may be or may not be here, the big question is, why hasn't any investigation taken place? That's Reality Check. Let's talk about it on Twitter.
Wow. We're talking about it on Twitter now, except it's called X, right?
And this is how long ago?
Oh, damn, almost 10 years.
Ooh.
I mean, you see all the symbolism and imagery and how it's all used. Oh, a little feedback there.
Yeah. Stuff hidden in plain sight.
Right.
You know me. I'm a skeptic until proven, but you know, it's
too many coincidences, right?
It's very hard to like disprove things like this.
It's like it's worse than the church, you know. Like it's like, oh, like we got this person who diddled the serial diddler, and then they knows this person who's emailing people about diddler stuff. And then the pizza parlor is using a diddler image, and one guy goes in there and fires a shot at the floor. And I guess he hit the computer in the basement,
right?
You know,
right?
So
yeah, no, I don't know.
Welcome to the horror movie.
It's so hard to know the truth behind these situations. Some of them are just so wild, and it's very hard, guys, like to distill the truth from what's real, what's fake. Because I was actually talking to Andrew about this before we went on live, and he was like, a lot of these files and a lot of these things out here, like it's almost possible that like some of these things are so crazy that they could be mixing in false facts, right? Like it's not that crazy, but at the same time, there's also truth mixed in. And when you have enough confusion, it just makes you question everything. But then I'm like, wait, there's enough clues here around these things to know that there's something here.
I mean, it reminds me of the Catholic Church stuff, man. And like, that's why I use that example is it's just like, oh, like they keep moving these people around and around and they keep doing stuff to people. And it's like, at a certain point, it's like, well, it's an organized effort to cover things up and to do stuff. And it's like, you know, this guy owns a pizza place, but he's part of GQ's like top 50 most influential men in DC. Clearly he knew someone that put him on that list so he could be cool. Right. Clearly he's that high level. Right. And he's tapped in with the Podesta brothers. And then, you know, the Podesta brothers are friends with the person that the serial diddler, and they're involved in emails and they're referenced in the Epstein file.
Right.
So like, it all just kind of comes together. Right.
And then they, you know, but Rex, of course, remember, just because your name is in the Epstein files doesn't mean that you're complicit with all the rest of the stuff. You could have just been, you know, Joe Schmo.
Elon just want to go on Epic Island vacation. We'll talk about that later. I just want to hang out on like the zip line or something.
We got to do a code name for him tonight, because I'm not sure if after this, like, we're gonna get like Grok shadow ban.
Grok's gonna mutilate us.
Grok's gonna shadow ban us after reporting on this stuff.
Tusk.
Yeah, it's just very hard stuff. What else we got here?
If we want,
can we talk about the black people thing? This thing is a little confusing.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's start with Epstein wants to make GMO black people. Okay, I think that's a good start. He had a lot of real weird genetic and racial and like brain theory just about everyone in general, and a lot of it's been proven wrong by modern science. So it's just like a schizoid, you know, like making stuff up. But it's very, very interesting because, of course, this guy is like, I hate to say this, but he was like the thought leader, you know, for all the elites. So
yeah, this was an email on him?
Yeah, in a leaked email. Here, we scroll up real quick. In a leaked email, Jeffrey Epstein discussed genetically engineering black people to make them smarter, discussing how whites had an evolutionary pressure that rewarded long-term thinking over rapid muscle development. Can we read it?
Here, I'm going to highlight it for him.
Okay. Yeah, Andrew's finding
It's that one.
Thank you.
Yep, you got it.
But it's okay. He never trafficked anybody. He's just, he's just a math teacher with some crazy ideas.
Let's go ahead and read that.
From Hosea Bach to Jeffrey Epstein, RE mechanisms for learning, importance high. Some thoughts I meant to send back for a long time, and this is Epstein, I guess, in the bottom. No worry if you can tell by how badly it's typed. If I understand correctly, you were suggesting there are layers I through N, let's call them L1, Ln. There are times T1, Tn, and then conjecture changing the time correlations by genetic switch or other message. You might be able to make black smarter by changing the time for motor layer development and changing the time for other layers, like telomeres for the cell. This is retarded. Like the telomere is the end part of DNA. Are there equivalents for the layers, as you talked about, cooling the unused neurons in each layer? Each neuron in each layer would get different. Kill yourself if you're not being used instructions. I mean, how sick is this? Like, what even is it?
Keep going. It's getting worse.
Exactly. I looked up the statistics. Black kids in the U.S. have slower cognitive development and never catch up. Which, yeah, I guess that's the case.
Rex, gray area
podcast.
Thank you guys for joining us on Gray Area. I'm Black Man, no smart.
That's what Epstein thinks, because the low-level structures are optimized for a shorter time, but they will keep the lead in motor development because it is easier to learn and they have more time and attention to practice once they get the structures in place. It's all mumbo jumbo. It could also be they have an additional set of learning directives in place that adapts them better to a more hunting, running style of life. So like this is all brain rot, brain damage. So what it is in reality is humans have different actin 3 profile, which is like fast twitch versus slow twitch muscle thing. Yeah. So like people that live in Asia, they're primarily XX. People that live in Europe primarily RX, and then people that live in Africa primarily RR. All it is fast twitch versus slow twitch.
No, it stands for really retarded.
But he's like making stuff up about the brain that isn't real. Like, I know the science on this. Like, this is not true. It's not true. But wow, let's go to the are you the devil question. That's an excellent clip. We'll go ahead and watch that.
So, according to this, guys, I have to concede on this, right?
Damn.
I was born
dude,
with one less chromosome. I'm running around with my spear. Just throwing spear, and Epstein tells me what I need to do in life.
Right.
My life is complete. Just tell me which way I need to go.
Right.
Oh, wise one.
Right. I've got an extra chromosome. You're missing one. We combine our powers and do the gray area together.
Yes.
Right. You see how that works. Well, let's go ahead and watch this.
But you see, I looked up the statistics.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is
the devil.
100%.
The devil
himself.
The devil himself said, "I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life."
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Demon from hell. Throw him under the jail. Bury him in 10 feet of concrete. I mean, like, can we go back like 2 seconds? Just look at his like evil grin. I'm not the devil himself. Like this is literally Satan.
Said, "I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life."
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
Pause it.
It's a serious question.
What does that mean?
Oh, damn it. It's just that one moment when it's.
What does that mean? But I do have a good mirror.
Oh, like I am the devil.
He's looking at himself back in the mirror and he's the devil.
Well, I mean, I have a good mirror, I guess, means like he has a good perception of like who he is as a person. Like he sees himself. That's what I take from that.
Gotcha.
But I mean, demon, play it. Play the demon.
Question. Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody
the
knows
smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is at the number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie once called American Dharma. I don't remember who said it. Okay, we have to go.
Okay, good.
Okay. I told him the devil.
So distracts from it, nervous brushing of the ear, self-soothing signals, the leering smile that comes out both at the start and at the end. Maybe we can go back to the end of the video just really quick. I just want to. I like 10% of the show at Infowars was always looking at the person and zooming in on him. Can we go to the exact end where he's got the horse teeth?
Yeah, there it is.
It's even further than that. Really? It's a little bit further. Yes.
Who said it? Okay, we have to go.
I guess that was it. Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, the leering grin, bro. Like this is a fake expression. It kind of reminds me of Mamdani's smile. And I'm not shitting on Mamdani in that way. I'm just saying it seems kind of disingenuous, where you can see his eyes. Well, he's trying to
Merry Christmas.
He's trying to imitate his eyes being closed, as in like you get like crow's eyes if you smile or laugh, and it's legitimate. Yes. But it's very clearly he's just like squinting as he makes some sort of positive facial gesture. I read this guy really as a chameleon.
Oh, and he was uncomfortable. That's why he had to go.
Oh yeah. We don't talk about that.
Hey, look, he said, because you're smart, you're the devil. Well, guys, you can cut back to us, by the way.
Yeah, we got a guy in the chat talking about pre-planned elective C-sections versus partition. Ultimately, like sometimes if the woman's going to die if she doesn't have a C-section. So like you have to it's not like no C-section. It's like, I mean, sometimes they really need to do that.
Well, you see, Rex, because I'm not smart, I can't be the devil.
Right. Damn, that's a good defense. Because I'm not smart, I can't be the devil.
I'm black man. Can't do nothing.
Good grief.
Anyways,
good grief, man. All right, we love the show. I'm wild sometimes. Tim's wild.
I have fun with this. Yeah. It's crazy because my entire existence, I've been around like affluent people and just like people with a lot of money. Didn't come from money, but was around these billionaire kids and stuff like that. So like I've heard it all, Rex. Like the internet thinks like, and these guys think like I like these things are he truly believes it. By the way, he's saying in an email, importance is high, so he clearly believes that statistically this is true, even though we're 99.8% same genetic makeup. Whatever, but I've seen it all to where like none of this stuff surprises me anymore. I mean, it was like in school, people would say it not even behind your back. They just tell you straight to your face.
And here's the thing. I've always been able to relate to it because I understand how it is to have people have a perception of you when they don't know you. Right. So that's why for me, I just look at it generally from a pro-humanity perspective. But, a lot of these people have very, very sick ideas.
Yeah. So, it's very interesting as you're really talking to people with like high net worths, like who are grown and stuff. There's a nice subsect of the population that does behave this way, but there's actually a lot of other people that don't.
Right.
And they just see, do you talk well? Do you got money? Exactly. Do you have the ability to conduct business? And that's as far as it goes. They don't care about your race. They don't care about your religion. You can have an Israeli and I've literally been in meetings where there's like a guy who's Israeli and then another guy who's literally like Arab, and like they're sitting there having a conversation.
They're trying to make something happen,
making a deal,
and like that's
making a deal.
That's generally how the world works. And the racial stuff is a divide and conquer narrative for the broke people.
100%.
It's just a sports team thing. We talk about that a lot in the gray area. But these people, these quote unquote masterminds, these so-called elites, they have all these ideas of how like they should run your life and how they should genetically modify people. That one's pretty heavy. You should read that one. I'm not reading that one.
This one, I'll read it. Yeah, let's go ahead. Read this one. Let's
go. Wait, hold on. We got Jose joining us. Maybe save it for after.
Maybe we'll save it for after.
We see him there.
All right, give us a second, Jose.
Can you pull up the description really quick?
Yeah, we'll read you in a second. Just give us a second. We're gonna get you added to the scene here. So just hold on. All right, go ahead, Rex. Take it away.
Awesome. Jose Vega is joining us now. He's a 27-year-old political organizer, Bronx native, and candidate for New York's 15th congressional district. Raised right here in the borough, he got his start in activism as a teenager with the International Youth Movement inspired by Lyndon LaRoche, organizing programs that focused on science, classical education, and building a better future for young people. No stranger to taking on tough conversations, he has directly confronted figures across the political spectrum, including Congressman Richie Torres, AOC, Mike Pompeo, Kamala Harris, and others on issues like endless wars, foreign aid priorities, economic neglect in the Bronx, and the failures of the two-party system. We love that. And in 2024, you ran as an independent against Torres in New York District 15, drawing attention to these concerns. Now you're back in 2026. You're also running to end the cycle of forever wars, financial bailouts, and misplaced priorities. And you're calling for the U.S. to reclaim its best traditions. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. Really happy to be joining you guys. This is great. This
Yeah.
is great. I like your Trump impression. I have one too. I'm not warmed up yet enough to do one, but
I feel you. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah,
Bigley, we love it, Bigley. I have the best voice. Everyone's always tried to copy me ever since I was young. People have said
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Just I'm telling you, if I had a few drinks in me, although I don't drink alcohol, but if I did, you'd have a Trump voice all night. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's kind of quiet right now. He's kind of mums the word because of this Epstein stuff. What's your opinion on that?
On the Epstein stuff? Well, I think for one, of course, you have to look beyond just Trump. I think there's a sort of problem here because if you put everything on just Trump, you obfuscate everybody else involved. Yeah. I think that there's a very big problem there, right? It's the sort of the names that haven't been uncovered yet that are probably more important than the people who are in the sunlight as opposed to people who like to lurk in the shadows, right? I mean, I know there's 3 million documents, and even then, that's still not completely released yet, right? But you will probably see people like IDF generals. I honestly believe this. You'll see people maybe even in our own military, names that people may not initially know in the beginning. Like, oh, we'll just put a pin on that. We'll come back to that. Turns out that guy is like some major donor to somebody or, some mover and shaker for some, big NGO group or something. And it's going to be really bad. I think it was Thomas Massey who said on the Jimmy Dore show that some of the people who are on the list are people who own grants in their names, who have names on their buildings and stuff, right? See, that's the sort of damage that is about to be done right now. And it's people have to prepare for it. Now, if you just only focus on Trump, you're gonna miss a lot of that because
right.
The important part of this is you can't look at this as a partisan issue. You just cannot. And everybody's already doing that, right? Like you got the Republicans saying this is Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton. Now you've got the Democrats saying Trump, 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 Trump. Hey, whoa, let's push the scope out a little bit more here. This ain't a left or right thing. There are pedophiles running our government right now. We should, we should be addressing that from that standpoint.
It's so black and white. I mean, it's so outrageous the fact that it's admitted we don't know the exact names because of course they're protecting themselves, but basically every single person in the higher regions of government is at least somewhat implicated in all of this. And you see the thing, we talk about it a lot on the show, Tim, where it's like the sports team and it's left versus right. And I left that behind. I was a part of that. I know what it's like, but people are taking an ideological position on this that's not the moral one. And it's crazy to me. It's like, oh, like we got X person now, we're going to send this person to jail and we're going to crown the other person king for 1,000 years. And it's like, no, they all have to go. They all have to be peaceably, non-violently gotten out of office. We got to get rid of these people like in a real peaceful, like metaphysical way.
Yeah.
The country has to be done with this.
All of it is sick, man.
What do you think?
All of it is sick. And it's crazy because it's not just, the United States, it's all over the world. I mean, it's like one big club. One big playhouse for
we're glad we're not in it though.
Yeah,
we're glad we're not 100%. In this club.
You got people like Prince Andrews in there. You've got other people, Russian diplomats, and those are things that we'll be covering later on to expose those people as well. But question for you, you're running for office, and what is it like, honestly, truly, like running for something so like public, and you're 27, you're my age, man. Like props to you.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't come up the traditional political way where you get corrupted, right? I didn't join a community board. I didn't work for a city councilman. I didn't run for city council, state assembly. You work your way up, right? I didn't even finish college, I dropped out of college, right? So I went very much the non-traditional way. And what I'm doing here in New York is I'm running in both the Dem primary and as an independent. Particularly because I'm trying to completely take advantage of every single avenue available to me. And I mean, is it taxing on your mind? Yeah, absolutely it is. In fact, like I've started my routine up again. I get up in the morning, I swim. I got to make sure I'm taking care of myself first now. And then, to be able to have the fortitude to go up against these ghouls who are now calling me anti-Semitic, by the way. A lot of people don't ever get to this point where your opposition, Richie Torres, who is one of the worst congressmen. I mean, like the entire Democratic progressive wing says they hate this guy. And I think he's like the Randy Fine of the Democratic Party, to put it simple to you. Yeah, that's how bad he is. And the special thing about the district I'm running in is that it's the poorest congressional district in the entire country. In the entire country.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. 36% of people in this district live underneath the poverty line. That's higher than anywhere else in the country. So, I'm running and like, here I am. I'm building the infrastructure myself completely. I'm doing everything independent online. The only coverage I was getting was basically people like you guys, just complete independent media and due dissidents and others. And they believed in me way back when they were the first people to interview me, when they only had like 5K subscribers or something. And that was after I had confronted Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and that was what put me on the map. But I said one thing. I said that my opponent is owned by Zionist millionaires. What do? They run my name through the mud. If you Google my name right now, you will see Jerusalem Post, Jewish Telegraph Agency. You'll see there's, it's up in Budapest too by the B'nai B'rith. I mean, it's like insane, and it's all just congressional candidate in the Bronx says Richie Torres is owned by Zionists. And you read the comment section on this, it's like, well, where's the lie? One of my favorite comments was they called him an anti-Semite, but they didn't call him a liar. Like, that to me is like indicative of the fact that you can't get away with lying. I'm not an anti-Semite, and the fact that like I'm just telling the truth. I've named the names. This guy, Richie Torres, my opponent, he's one of the most well-funded AIPAC candidates.
Is part of it? Is part of it the fact that like you have that AIPAC supporting you on? Is that why they're calling you that?
Well, yeah, partly because I think it's that, and also the fact that we actually did uncover some stuff. Like in this district, you have the offices of a Israeli lobby group, and they call themselves that. I'm not making that up. This called NORPAC, NORPAC, that has offices here in the Bronx in Riverdale. Which is one of the, and that's another thing they called me anti-Semitic for, because I said in the poorest congressional district, you also have one of the richest neighborhoods in the Bronx, in the United States, which is called Riverdale. A lot of people don't associate Riverdale with the Bronx. And I said, why is this wealth disparity? And they said, oh, you're going after the Jews that live in the community. It's like, I don't care who they are. Why does one section of the district look like Beverly Hills and another place is one of the worst places in the United States?
Right.
What is this income inequality? So I started looking into the donors of the people who live in that part of the district. And it's people like this guy, Jonathan Weiner, who owns many buildings in New York City. He's rated as one of the worst landlords in all of New York City. He's a major contributor to Richie Torres, my opponent. So, it's the fact that, yeah, he is supported by AIPAC. He's also supported by some of the worst elements probably in Tel Aviv. I'm talking about a guy who personally met with Yoav Gallant in 2024, shook his hand, bent down over. Okay, sorry.
He glazed him? Oh no!
Straight up glaze on his knees.
I have to. I'm working on trying to be a politician.
Hey, no.
We'll be quiet. Shut up.
This is what the people love: authenticity.
Yeah.
I know you got to be politically correct because your opponents will use this video against you. Yeah.
But that was the crazy thing too, right? Because when you're basically like not getting coverage in the mainstream, you go on independent media and you say whatever you want, right? In the latest article that the Jerusalem Post, they were quoting me from when I was on Jimmy Dore's show, like back in the beginning of January. They were quoting me from my statements all the way back in November. Like they started looking at all of my media appearances. Like it is completely possible that they're going to take the fact that I am on here with you. You are Alex Jones' son, and they're going to say Jose Vega recently appeared with the son of notorious da 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 da.
Yeah, you're in trouble, buddy.
Yeah, basically. But I don't play this guilt by association game.
Right.
And that's partly because of my association with LaRouche, And the funny thing is, the person to ask about LaRouche is your dad, because your dad not only interviewed Lynn in 2006, but your dad famously called Lyndon LaRouche the godfather of conspiracy theory. I mean, I think that's a mischaracterization, but I would be interested.
Not familiar. I'm not familiar. It's interesting. If you'd inform me a little bit more, I'd love to learn.
Oh, dude, listen. I got involved in the mid-2010s with the LaRouche organization, not knowing the 50-year history that already existed there. And Lyndon LaRouche was was like completely prolific, I think, in a lot of his predictions and a lot of his economic forecasting. That's what he was, an economic forecaster. When 9/11 happened, he was on a radio show being interviewed, and he got the news live on air. And like the guy telling him, Jack Stockwell's like, hey, the planes just collapsed into the towers. He goes, oh, they're going to try to blame Osama bin Laden on this. Don't let them do that. Like he pinned down, the moment of, he was predicting that something was going to happen in the year 2001. Because in 2001, he was saying, look, there's going to be some kind of Reichstag fire, which is what I was talking about on due diligence, that the Bush administration needs in order to get itself executive power so that they can do things like what would happen, which was the Patriot Act. But nah, man, LaRouche was like, I think, revolutionary. He had worked with all kinds of people. He had traveled around the world working with people like Indira Gandhi and others, and Indira Gandhi, Jose Lopez Portillo in Mexico, and the Reagan administration. That's probably the biggest claim to fame, was that he was working with the Reagan administration to get this sort of beam defense system on the dome. Not the dome, I forgot what the name of it was. Jesus Christ, I did a whole thing on this. Now I'm forgetting. But the idea was to use a laser defense system to go after nuclear bombs. And Reagan actually put this in a speech in what's now dubbed the Star Wars speech.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But see, this was because of Lyndon LaRouche. And the thing is, Lyndon LaRouche back in the late 1980s, 86, 87, 88, the George H. Bush personally starts coming after Lyndon LaRouche. Henry Kissinger sends a letter to the FBI. It's a very famous letter where he says, hey, director of FBI, I forget the name. Dear Bill, it was great hanging out with you at the Grove. And he's referring to Bohemian Grove. It was great hanging out with you at the Grove. We need to do something about this Lyndon LaRouche guy, And so it's completely wild. But ultimately, what attracted me to the organization was that it wasn't just like, telling the truth or conspiracy theory talk. It was like, no, like we can actually have a vision for a better future. And now Helga Tsepp LaRouche, his wife, he died back in 2019, but his wife is keeping it up with what she's called the Oasis Plan, where she's gotten people like Dr. Naledi Pandor, who was the former South African foreign minister, who brought the case against Israel to the ICJ, as one of these people who comes on, her initiative called the International Peace Coalition. And we have former heads of state now and other people saying this is what policy should be. No, it's totally wild, And that's my association from being 15, 16 years old, joining this group in 2014 or so, when they were putting the mustache on Obama, calling him Hitler.
Well, I can relate to you probably a lot then. I was of a similar age, hanging around, kind of a media office, a political office. It was a political office. And, I learned a lot during that time about kind of how the machine works. It really is a rough ecosystem, man. Like whatever side you're looking at, politics or media, it's really two sides of the same coin. Media being downstream of the politics, of course. But having that exposure, is that the thing that made you want to be like, okay, not only am I going to do like man on the street, like confrontational stuff with these people, but I'm going to run for office? Where did that decision come from?
To be honest, I turned 25. That's what happened. I turned 25. I turned 25 in 2024. In 2023, I turned 2020. I turned 25, and October 7th happened. And one of the first things I did was I went to a Rachel Maddow event. And I would later find out, it wasn't, it was an intervention I actually did with Russ, of all people, from Due Dissidence. This was October 17, 2023. I'm in the synagogue and I start yelling at Rachel Maddow saying, you're going to get October 7th wrong, just like you got everything else wrong. They are ethnically cleansing Gaza, and you and the rest of the media are going to lie about it. That's what you do. And so then people start, really getting involved with Palestine and Gaza and stuff, right? And at that point, like, it comes out that my congressman Richie Torres, the poorest, the congressman of the poorest congressional district in the country, he says the word Israel in Congress 236% more times than he does the Bronx. You think about it, this guy is a total loser, basically, and he's one of the most well-funded Israeli bought politicians. And so I decided, you know what? back then I ran the first time completely as an independent, not doing anything. My hair wasn't as clean cut as it is now. I had a big bushy afro, and I was living out of my car, and I was like, I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do. Somebody's got to challenge this guy. And now this year, I decided, well, you know what? I got to do something different. I got to really up the stakes. People really want this guy out. They say they do. People are telling me I should run in the Democratic primary. Okay, but I'm not going to kiss up to Hakeem Jeffries.
Right.
Up to Chuck Schumer. I'm not kissing up to any of these people. I'm not kissing up to the progressive wing, who've sold out a lot of the pro-Palestine causes. Now I'm doing this because this is another form. It's an elevation of the disruptions, of the confrontations, the interventions that I'm doing. And I decided, you know what? Here we are. Let's do it, And I mean, as a result, like, it's one thing if you're a political commentator or you're just a podcaster, or even if you're just an activist, right? But now we're at the point where we're challenging power. And I think the fact that we have these articles being printed on us shows that, oh my God, we could actually win this thing in June. And they are afraid of that because I am not the kind of person they want with a D next to their name, because I don't care who you are, Republican, Democrat. I'm going to call you a loser. Okay, Hakeem Jeffries is a loser. Chuck Schumer is a loser. Mike Johnson's a loser. They all need to go and be replaced. And what I just said, they do not want me saying that in the Congress, because you know why? Most Americans feel this way now.
Yes.
And so they don't want that energy, because I don't play the left-right game. I don't play the Coke or Pepsi game. So they're going to have to hear me.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that because, like, I know you said, like, they're going to give you slack about being on this show, but, like, one of the things that they won't tell you is that our show is also not a left-right dichotomy.
Right,
like,
we reject that.
Rex is completely different than his father. Like, there's a lot of things that they agree with, and there's a lot of things that they disagree with, right? But, like, Rex has leaned more towards the center in terms of understanding perspectives from either side.
The way I look at it, and I'll just interject quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
The way I look at it is, I'm defining myself as a centrist now, but not a centrist meaning like I'm in the middle, man. It's all okay. The uniparty's great. The centrist is in like, okay, I like some left-wing positions. I like some right-wing positions. Why can't I have both? And why can't I ask for that? You know what I mean? Like that's how I would define things. Like, I'm anti-war and I'm pro like family care and childcare and people getting housing and schooling. Like, if we're the greatest country on earth, we should be able to do the greatest things for our people, right? You think 100%. This would be a very simple concept to understand, but no, the $600 billion, it goes to Ukraine or Israel. It doesn't come to us, whether you like it or not. A policy I often point to is Trump's first term. They're like, the wall is too expensive. You will never get $5 billion. And then they go ahead and spend, $1 trillion, $1 trillion+ on these new wars. They lied to us, man. They're all servants of the system. Ultimately, there's legislative, executive, judicial, and then there's bureaucrat class, military, industrial complex, intelligence agency. And that's the real branch of the government.
That's right. And most of these congressional campaigns are intelligence operations. The Congress is just intelligence. Okay, I'm talking FBI, CIA. Most of these guys are bought and controlled by intelligence operatives too. When you are talking to a congressman, 99% of the time, you are talking to a handler. Okay, I mean, like, you're talking to a pre-programmed script. That's why they try to avoid doing town halls. I don't know when the last time is a congressman held a town hall, but yeah, let me tell you something. One of the things that pushed me to do the Democratic primary was because I was very staunch. I was very pragmatic. I was like, I'm doing independent. I'm going independent. And I met this woman as we were outside. It was, fall. It was still warm enough to be out talking to people. And this woman is like, she's like on the verge. She's going to work. She's a nurse. I would find out she's a nurse. And she sees one of our signs. One of our signs was like, Putin didn't start this war. Let's end it. It's very provocative, right? Because I have my opinions about the war in Ukraine. I don't think it started on February 2022. Victoria Nuland was one of the people responsible. Anyway, I'm talking to her and, she's like getting angry with me at first, but then she just starts like freaking out, saying like, oh, all these wars, all these damn wars, I get paid this much money and I know most of that money goes to my daughter's private school and I got to pay my car tax and I got to do this, and this. And she said, if we just elected more Democrats, things would be good. And I looked at her in her eyes and I said, ma'am, the person who is representing you is a Democrat, and that person is taking your taxpayer money and is giving it to Israel where they have free health care and they are bombing children the same age as your daughter. And I said, that's a Democrat who's doing that. And she started to cry. She started to break down in tears. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if we're ever going to fix this. And I started to cry too, because I didn't know, what do you do in that situation? I'm not in that power yet, right? And then it was at that moment I made the decision, like, I need to do everything I can to get into the Congress. I need to give people hope that you can be in the Congress and be honest and keep your integrity and your principles and never relent on that. Part of the reason why I'm on this show, because I believe you can talk to anybody. Also because, like, I will never, denounce or leave the LaRouche organization. Like, if you Google Lyndon LaRouche right now, you'll get just the worst kinds of things: cult leader, anti-Semitic. This calls everyone, right? But it's bullshit, And I stick to what's true and honest. So, yeah, go ahead.
Now, a question for you, like, we're very critical of the right all the time. I mean, Rex was very right leaning at one point. I leaned a little bit more center right, and now I've kind of come back to like center. Yeah, just because of all the wildness that's happened in this current administration. But for you, because we don't always have Democrats on this show, and we're trying to bring more people who have left-leaning folks that have.
That's a better, it's a better, because I have this gag where I keep telling people I'm a Democrat now, and I like about to throw up.
So, like, what do you feel like some of the things that the let's say Democrats or left-leaning are getting wrong, and some of the things that they might be getting right that the right it might be incorrect on? Because there's always things that like you're gonna disagree with, but I'm very curious on, like, not being in an echo chamber, what's some of the things that you're hearing or that you see or personally believe on these things?
Oh, well, first, I wouldn't also try to classify myself as left or right. I try not to, even though I'm very much sort of closer aligned to like the Due Dissidents guys. They admit they're a little more left leaning, but I try to stay out of that paradigm altogether. But
respect.
Here's something, like, for example, on ICE and immigration as a whole. The problem with ICE and immigration has nothing to do with how you feel about illegal immigration, whether or not you think immigrants should be coming in or not. ICE was created as an extension of the DHS, which is an extension of the Patriot Act.
Right.
You are doing by cheering on the mass deportation of immigrants through masked men coming in here and, just terrorizing indiscriminately a lot of people. You are allowing the federal government to expand its powers on surveillance. You are giving Palantir. Why the fuck does Palantir have my personal data? Why does it have my pictures and my health data? That is insane, and I never consented to that. And that is something that I think a lot of people who call themselves right-wing, when I talk to them about immigration from that standpoint, well, it's like, oh, well, yeah, they get it. Because a lot of these people are not for the Patriot Act. They were probably denouncing the Patriot Act when it first happened, and or when it was first enacted and passed. And so, I think I think that's definitely one big one right there. The other one, of course, is Gaza. I mean, I've seen a sort of, I know the last statistic I saw was something like 40% of Republicans under the age of 40 do not support the United States giving money to Israel. And one of the ways that they, people don't think about this, right? It was reported back in December that Netanyahu was investing $600 billion, was it, or $600 million into Hasbara, into their propaganda, into their, buying up their influence.
The eighth front of war, as he calls it. Yes.
Yeah, right. They take that very seriously. So it's like, okay, if they're investing this much money into, the propaganda war, I'm supposed to believe that, the Somali issue is organic or something. No, it's being done to distract people because they know they're not going to win the propaganda war anymore. They know they're not going to get people to like Israel. So you know what? Let's get people to hate the brown people. Let's get people to hate these. See, that could be taken out of context. I'm sorry. You know what? That's crazy.
Extra level on top of it. I think all the stuff that was happening in Minnesota, and I've said this openly. I said Minnesota is kind of just a in the crosshairs of an issue, a larger issue, and that's Trump needs a win.
They thought they were going to go mess with Tim Walz and get one over on him, and they've gotten themselves into like one of the worst poop storms since the Epstein Files.
And now they're backing down. If you can see, like the Trump has kind of taken a little bit of a softer tone, as well as the federal government is trying to signal, hey, you know, we're on your side, guys. No need to go and riot out there. And it's
and the thing is they posted that video a few days ago of like Peretti kicking out the taillight or whatever. He's not doing that when he gets shot.
That's right.
Why like it's like, oh, but he's you support the left, huh? And it's like, well, I don't like American citizens being killed by federal agents with guns, something Ron Paul was against from the very start. That's my political education. I'm sorry I didn't discover politics 5 years ago and I follow everything Trump says. Like I have a background in these things. And when you learned about the Patriot Act at a young age, when you learned about FEMA at a young age and, you know, Agenda 21 and 2030 and all the things that they want to do, and really like the robots are the infrastructure for that, and that's coming, like I'm against this. So I'm not pro an administration and having to, you know, sweep things under the rug for the administration. I've left the administration behind. I voted for him twice. I can't believe I did. And like I did it because I thought he would end the wars. That's
that's exactly right. You know, the Due Dissidence guys did a good documentary on me. I was kind of afraid when they did it, but like I go through that sort of political journey. The first time I could vote was 2016, when I turned 18 years old. And the reason I gave my vote to Trump wasn't because I was like some MAGA wearing, you know, but it was because of how the Democratic Party treated Bernie Sanders. Hillary conspired with the party to steal Bernie Sanders' vote. You know, and Bernie Sanders, what does he do? He turns around and he bends over for Hillary Clinton and says, "No, we have to endorse Hillary Clinton."
Yes, yes.
You know, it's like, come on, Bernie, have some balls. You know, stand up for yourself. This party just stole your vote, and now you're just what? You're just going to bend over for the same party that messed you up, and you know,
right.
over. And so I voted for Trump that first time because it was a big fuck you to the establishment. That's what I thought it was, you know, and it's kind of similar to you too, you know. I mean, especially in my teen years and being associated with the group I was, you know, learning about the Patriot Act, learning about growing up in a post 9/11 environment. Like you and I, all three of us actually are part of a generation that is now being raised in a post 9/11 world. You know, one where in the world before that is alien to us. We have to hear people about it. I mean, I have friends who like,
when y'all were seniors, I was a freshman. I think that's the math.
Yeah.
I think
I could have voted in 2016 as well. I very vividly remember all of that stuff happening. And I was in Massachusetts at the time. So I was in the same region as you.
There you go. Yeah. So, you know, it was to become like, I mean, the first time I ever denounced a politician was actually, I mean, the one that I'm sort of got my first notoriety for was going after Kamala Harris. 2021, I confronted her then, you know, because she was coming to the Bronx to talk about the Build Back Better plan. But we had just had a superstorm that killed 7 people who were living in basement apartments. And it could have been prevented if we had the infrastructure that Carter was talking about back in the 1970s. And so that was like, that was my sort of like final nail in the coffin of like, you know what, like both parties.
Hey,
suck.
We're gonna play. Yeah, I was gonna say, Jose, let's play some of your clips because I know we've got some of that stuff.
Yeah, I got the thread that you sent me.
The thread. Also, I sent you on X to repost because I think your audience needs to be hearing this right now, and there's a lot of people even in our chat that are agreeing with you, and we have a lot.
I just got Harrison to repost.
Yeah, we got a lot of conservative people up in here as well.
You got Harrison Smith?
Yeah.
Harrison's a good
guy.
I love Harrison. I've known Harrison for over a decade.
I was on his show. I don't remember which confrontation it was where I did that and he had me on. It was awesome though. Yeah.
Harrison's a good guy.
He's great. And you know, you talked about something, I want to go to the clip, but you talked about, you know, being associated with an organization and people judge that organization. Ultimately, a lot of people have had things to say about InfoWars over the years. And I would point out and I would go, look, it's not a perfect operation. You can find flaws, you can find issues, and hey, like we got sued. It is what it is. At the end of the day, Alex put in about 32 years of work, and he kind of created a media atmosphere that was permissive and friendly to other independent journalists. And he walked so others could run, is really my view on the situation. He really did have a legendary prime, and I still have a lot of respect for him. And even though we disagree on a lot now, I mean, like, I hear him get compared to Cenk Uygur, and Cenk Uygur got hundreds of millions or tens of millions of dollars. We never got sent a dime by anybody. And like, we sold products, and people call us snake oil salesmen. I say you go to Whole Foods, whatever. People wanted to support the operation, so they supported it. So I just wanted to say, like, you talk about your old place. I got to rep mine a little bit.
Yeah. No, this is
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying this. I agree with what you're saying. I completely, you know, and like I remember my high school teacher, you know, sitting me down, turning her laptop towards me, saying, "I think you might be in a cult." And I was like, "I've read that stuff that you're reading, and my experience is not that at all." You know, these people taught me, you know, about why we have mass surveillance to begin with. You know, they were denouncing Obama before it was cool to denounce Obama. Now you talk to anyone, left or right, you know, they're like, yeah, Obama was a failure, you know. But like back then, you know, to be against Obama was like a cardinal sin. And yet, you know, this guy was going after Snowden. I mean, this guy bombed the hell and destroyed Syria. Operation Timber Sycamore. We were funding Al Qaeda, which destabilized Syria and led it to what it is today. You know, and I'm supposed to believe that, like, you know, the godfathers of the Democratic Party are somehow, like, you know, divine. Anyway,
I was drinking the Obama Kool-Aid too, man. My mom was at the inauguration. She was out there. He had the black vote. What can I say, man? She was literally, that's the only inauguration she's ever been to, and she was out there on the lawn like everybody else. But you know, you've mentioned the stuff about pushing back, and I want to play this clip on Kamala because, like, you're right. I mean, we call out the right all the time. It's nice to see somebody who's in a different camp calling out their own group as well. So let's go ahead and play this, Andrew.
Climate. It's about better health. It's about better jobs. And intentionally, it is about our families.
What about the families who drowned? 8 families drowned here in Queens. It could have been prevented if we had the right infrastructure.
You are right, brother.
I am right about that.
You are.
And the Chinese have shown that poverty is a choice.
So
why aren't we working with the Chinese on their Belt and Road Initiative?
Okay,
the bankers run a dictatorship here. We need to pass Glass-Steagall back.
But right now, let's talk about the agenda.
No, the agenda doesn't address the fact that people are going to die if there's another hurricane. There's been planned shrinkage of benign neglect.
We want in our democracy. Everybody gets their chance to talk, and everybody gets a chance to speak.
We don't need mass energy
So this is our agenda. This is our agenda to cut taxes.
You know what's great about that clip too is that AOC, who I would confront a year later, is in the front row.
Oh,
too, you know. So it's anyway.
I like the one-liner where she's like, "Uh-oh, gotta get people's focus back," and I go, "We have an agenda, and it's to cut your taxes." And
I hear you, brother.
Get him out of there.
It's so
Secret
crazy.
Service, get him out of there.
Yeah, and she didn't talk to me afterwards. By the way, you know, that's the fuck that part. She's like, "We'll talk after." We didn't talk after. They kicked my ass out.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Well, it's like you say, where like they have an agent, handler, whatever you want to call them. They have like a chief of staff or whatever, blah blah blah, publicist. Like these politicos, every message you see, like I forget. I'm politically ignorant. I should know how many people are in Congress, but there's like 500 or 400 something people in Congress, and literally all of them are complete bots, and like they have no actual opinions.
435 in the House of Representatives, 100 senators. So you can't go wrong if you say 435 or 535, because both are technically true.
Damn. Okay. All right. Mathematician here. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, like these people, they're like pre-programmed bots, and they just follow the money, and that's their entire agenda. I just don't get. I think it has to do with the American public just being so demoralized and conditions becoming so much worse. So it's kind of a slow. It's kind of a slow march into oblivion in America. I think for the past 30, 40 years, people are just so used to the gradual degradation of what's gone on. You talk about that lady crying when you talk to her, and you crying too, and having that emotional human experience. Ultimately, I find our politics to be quite inhuman, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. You know, and the other thing too, it's like, Like when you had that discussion with Russ about being pro-life or pro-choice, right? Like
Right.
on paper, it's like, are you pro-life or pro-choice? But then I listen to Russ's reasoning as to why he's pro-choice. He agrees with you that life begins at conception. He just doesn't think that the government has the right to impose that definition on other people. But
Right.
that doesn't fit into are you pro-life or pro-choice? I didn't ask all that fluff. Are you pro-life or pro-choice? There's more nuances to these things. And, right. So the system that, we have right now is designed to put us in a tribal mentality. That's the other reason I don't try to mince my words either. There's a lot of people, this is another thing. This is a hazard of running for Congress. People give you unsolicited advice all the time. All the time. The number one thing I hear is just be like Mamdani. Just be like Mamdani, because it's New York, right? Mamdani just won. But the worst one I hear is people in your district don't care about anything but rent and food. I'm like, what do you think they're animals? You think they're just fucking You think they're fucking pets or something? You think that what, like I'm gonna treat them like my dog, or I have a cat. I'm gonna treat them like my cat. I'm just gonna worry how much their kibble costs, and how much it costs to clean their shit up. That's not what people are. Human beings have creative reason. They have an ability to develop themselves to their fullest creative potential. I believe that every child has the right to a dignified life.
Yes.
To a proper education. There's a 17-year-old kid who works on my campaign, and he wants to go to space. He's talking about, like, I want an observatory in the Bronx. I don't want to go to Manhattan just to look at an observatory. You know what? And the Bronx should fucking have it, because every human being should have the right to go and look at the stars, even once in their life, to go see what's out there, because we're all part of that.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, shut up, racist is my response. You don't want to send all the money overseas. Shut up, racist. What are you, some sort of bigot or something? That's how literally that's how they'll address you if you talk about real societal change or policy. And we notice this on the left and on the right. If you don't conform to the party politic, whether that's Trump, whether that's like the Democrat Party ethos, you could point at the Republicans and say, look, Trump won, he took over the party, the populist won, or whatever. And you look at the Democratic Party, say Bernie lost, and it's been Hillary, Biden, and then Biden again. This is what they wanted to do. And then Kamala. Ultimately, Trump was given what I call the Reagan deal, where they go, look, here's the thing. You got in the second time or third time or whatever. It is what it is. We'll let you remake the party in your own image, but ultimately you still work for us, and it's still the sports team. It's just we're changing. The Redskins logo was offensive. It's the Generals now, and that's who you are, Mr. Trump. You're the head of the new Washington Generals. So,
and you know what? It's interesting is, like, parties change from generation to generation.
Right.
Just so you guys remember, in the Civil War, it was the Democrats that were in the South.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Like 90+% of black people vote for Democrats, and the same Democratic Party was the ones that were the ones for pro-secession and running that. I mean, every time it changes hands, but I think this is a different circumstance. And you said
they're
earlier,
both implicated.
Now they're both implicated. And the thing is it's getting harder and harder for a lot of these people to hide the truth because of this beast we call social media.
Right.
And because you can go on X and you can go and find out for yourself without being censored about a specific topic, right? But you hit the nail on the head earlier as well, is like there's nuances to every situation. And rather than address and talk about those nuances, people just shame you. They basically say, well, you know what? I don't agree with any of what you just said because I have to be part of this uni party and explain that. And I find myself censoring myself in real time sometimes because I'm scared what somebody's going to take, let's say 10 years from now, and be like, oh, this was you. Did you see that?
Yeah, social credit score. And like that's the control grid that's being built around us, man. It's like, you look at a time before the internet, those people were really lucky. They're really lucky to live in that time, even though they didn't have the information, even though things were controlled. When you went to everything was a corporate source. There was an era of freedom that we have, like, when you eat an ice cream cone and it's gone, but you still have the flavor in your mouth. That was the 2000s. That was, and you kind of remember that essence of how the world was it was just a little bit different. People were a little nicer to each other. There wasn't this intense, really racial politic. Things were really more around like class lines, right? Like high taxes, low taxes. Even though it was controlled, the arguments in politics were more dignified. Now you see it all in its literal slop.
You gotta, and this is the thing. I do believe in the better angels of people. I'm a big optimist. I am, and people let me down all the time, and I still try to keep the hope that people can change because people can change. And I hear this all the time. Yeah, people can change, but they don't want to change. Well, you have to give people a reason to change. You have to give people a reason to believe and hope again. Oh, but I've been let down so many times. Well, you know what? That's the indomitable human spirit,
Right.
Just because you've been hurt doesn't mean you can't stop hoping. You got to, because no man is truly hopeless, because to be truly hopeless means that they're already dead.
Right.
You keep
You're
holding
still
on
waiting
to
for a chance.
something. Yeah, that one of my favorite poems by Emily Dickinson is the one called Hope. Hope is the thing with feathers, which perches upon the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And I like that a lot, because even if you can't hear it, it's still singing. It's still there. It sings the tune without the words. You can't really put words on what hope is, but it's still there. And so that, to me, is like, I got to make sure that other people, know that somebody is trying to fight for them, and that they can then stand up and fight with me, and stand
Right.
up with me. And that's why we're getting the attacks we're getting.
Right. Okay, I have a question for you. So now that you're in politics, Rex and I are kind of like on the outside looking in. I have some political connections and people that I talk to. I'm sure you do as well, but like we're not
maybe some fun ones. Yeah.
some fun ones, yeah, but we're not like directly in it. What do you see as like the ugly stuff behind the curtains that like no one gets to see, but you're now being exposed to in real time, and you're like, damn.
The lobbying, perhaps.
What do you
Nobody's trying to lobby me. I promise you that. No, APAC's not coming at my door. I think that what you do see, and this is sort of why I've become such a pariah, is the pressure to soften your position because you want to be liked. See, it'd be one thing if I had my own podcast and I was building my own audience, and I'd be like, oh, well, fuck you, fuck this. I can say whatever I want. But there's a sort of pressure that gets put on you, because it's like, well, wait a minute. As a politician, you want people to like you, right? And you also don't want to make people uncomfortable by disagreeing with them, right? Because, one of the hardest things for me, I meet a voter in the street, I'm talking to him like, oh my God, yeah, you're so great. God, your position on Gaza is my position. And when we go after that tyrant Putin, it's like, well, wait a minute, I don't think Putin's ruined, and but then, right, you have to put yourself in that situation. It's like, am I really going to contradict this? Am I really going to shatter this person's? Do I just stay quiet? Do I not say? But I have sort of had to train myself to get over my ego and say, actually, I think you're wrong there.
Right.
And, but the thing is, it's been so rewarding to do that, because I don't feel like I'm lying. And people know that what they see with me is what they get. And I'm sure it may have cost me some people. Like, there was one guy who tries to fucking ambush me in my office, right? He's like up in my DMs, like, dude, I've been keeping up with your content in the Bronx. Like, this is so cool. Like, can I interview you? He's like some low-level TikTok guy. I'm like, whatever, sure. And then he comes to my office. He's like asking me general questions. He's like, so why do you think Russia has a right to take over Europe? I'm like, really? Really? You're gonna fucking do? But it's like, you know what? So I just gave him the entire enchilada of how Ukraine became a CIA puppet state, and he was
NATO
just
expansion, Maidan coup, all the good stuff. Yeah.
go exactly. You fucking know this stuff. And I put out a documentary with my friend Kynan called Victoria Nuland, The Making of a Psychopath. Her dad had shock therapy to deal with the fact that her mother was bipolar and was abusive. And not only that, but Victoria Nuland went to a private school where there was a lot of sexual misconduct going on, even around the year she was active in the school. And then it goes right into the foreign volunteer service, and that's how she sort of became bought and corrupted right there. Like, she was basically manufactured from her psychological profile, from high school to college to just becoming a tool for the intelligence agency. So I'm giving this guy all this stuff, and then he just storms out. He's like, you drink too much Putin Kool-Aid. And he's some like small time influencer in the district, but it's like, no, people need to know where I stand. And you know what? I'm not afraid to disagree with my constituents. You know why? Because it's not my job to be complacent with people. It's my job to present why I think what I think. Even if 95% of people think something and that's factually wrong, I'm not going to conform with the 95% just because the majority thinks it.
Yeah.
I have to uphold the principle of what I know is to be
one
right.
other thing is that like we've talked about on many an episode, and we do these deep dives, and we specifically covered Russia probably like 2 weeks ago.
And that took a while for me to warm you up to a little bit, right? Because we talked about this initially.
Yeah, and the worst part is like it is true, the victors write the history essentially, and people want to talk about how Russia invaded Ukraine, bad guy, but then they don't go back to the 90s when Soviet Union breaks apart. They're basically belly up, and they're like, United States, do what you will to us, just help us, like we want to integrate. And they're like, all right, shock therapy, sell all the assets to the Russian billionaires so that 7 people control 50% and you can't afford bread. And that's because the United States, somebody had the bright idea to be like, well, we can't gradually expose them to capitalism. We just have to just shock them into it, and they'll figure it out.
We have to grape them, basically.
Right.
And that's American foreign policy, is like how hard we decide to grape you. And it's very, very sad. It really truly is. A lot of the time on the show, we talk about the Star Wars story. And that's like whenever you got the Rebel Alliance is fighting against the evil empire, and there's no way for them to win unless they shoot the torpedo down the reactor stack. And Zelensky's the guy that's piloting the X-Wing. You got to support him forever. And it's like, well, it doesn't work that way in the real world. In the real world, you have people with interests, and those people have interests that oppose each other. So you can talk about Russia, you can talk about Ukraine. Ultimately, there's not one side that is like, a knight in shining armor in any respect. And I'm pretty pro-Russian. I like Putin. I like a lot of the stuff.
Easy there, cowboy.
I've said that many times on the show.
CIA will be on our asses in like 2 seconds.
At the end of the day, Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons. So that is their strongest claim to state sovereignty, to their borders or whatnot, is they said, look, we'll give our nukes up. We want Western security to some extent. Now you take NATO, which expands. They added like 10 or 11 countries after the 1991 agreement, where, not 1 inch over the line. And they do the second most NATO exercises in Europe in that country. So lo and behold, look what happens, right?
Absolutely. I look, like, people ask me, like, why are you anti-Ukraine? I'm not anti-Ukraine. I want Ukraine to have its sovereignty. Maybe we should get the CIA out of Ukraine, and we should get that clown Zelensky to have elections and just see how many people actually support him.
He's a dictator. Yeah. They call Putin a dictator. This guy, he doesn't hold elections.
Well, here's the thing. He knows if he got voted out, a new guy will come in and he'll give up Crimea. There's a group of individuals that don't want to give up their regions that are currently being fought over and don't want to freeze the lines at where they're at because somebody's losing and somebody has a gun to the back of his head and say, you know what? You better make sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
And it's creating this monster situation to where, like, no one can win, and the Russians know we just had to play attrition.
But one group wins. Larry Fink goes over there with Witkoff and Kushner and meets with Zelensky, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to rebuild the country. You're going to pay us, the tens or hundreds of billions of dollars from the U.S. government in order to do so. And it's a transfer of wealth, man. You killed your nation. You killed the sperm bank of your nation. Good job. We'll let you move to France. And it's so removed from a normal person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just sending a text that.
No, you're all good.
No, I think it's just absolutely insane what we've done to Ukraine, for decades, honestly, because it goes even before, what we did in 2014, which is setting the stage. A lot of people don't even know about the racist neo-Nazi past that Ukraine had to, like, why is it that they worship that guy Bandera? Why are many streets named after Bandera, right? And, the guy that they ousted, Yanukovych, was trying to pass a law to repeal, Bandera Day. That was part of the propaganda they used to get the guy out. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't like your national hero, Stefan Bandera. And anyway, yeah, we could beat the whole. One more thing, April 2022, a peace proposal is done. We could be done with this war. What happened? Bojo the fucking clown goes over there and he says, you know what? No, let's not. You can. That's my Trump. That's not my Boris. You can beat the Russians. Don't worry. You can beat the Russians. They can be beaten. No, if Boris Johnson goes over there and he says, no, we can beat the Russians. Yeah, Europe's with you, NATO's with you, everyone's with you. And they fucking lied.
I say that all the time on the show. We both say that a lot. We reference the Boris Johnson meeting. I think I do a good Zelensky. I am big Ukrainian man. I have nuclear weapon. You're not nice to me at White House. It's a lot like my dad's, but it's lighter. It's a gravel in the back of your throat. That's how you do this, Zelensky.
Yeah, man. So now you know, with all that, you definitely are a well knowledgeable person. I like the fact that like you're not just somebody who's just a politician. Because I feel like a lot of people in politics are just straight up idiots. I'm sorry. Like,
Ignorant too,
like they don't it's not like the degree doesn't make you smart. It's just actually understanding like how things work outside of like a classroom setting, or the fact that like a lot of that power is passed down, or they're part of like families that are like integrated into society. But you seem to be like more in touch with society as well as understanding the
It
history
seemed
and
normal.
context.
It's so weird, you know, because
Yes.
they're all not normal. They look like realtors.
Yes.
Almost.
Oh yeah, well, I of course I credit it to being associated with the LaRouche organization. Not just them. I mean, you know, I love Max Blumenthal. He was confronting people like this one journalist who brought Andre Perubi to testify on some government, and you know, I mean, I've been keeping up with the Gray Zone also since they were first founded, and also like to be able to see Max at these events too is also pretty cool because you know, being a teenager and like seeing the stuff that he was doing and just becoming a fan was cool. But yeah, people like the Gray Zone and Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal, Kit Clarenberg, also, you know, I mean, these people have really sort of kept me informed as to what's going on. And I also have a big belief that education and culture have to play a very big role in your statesman. John Quincy Adams, you know, that guy knew so many languages. You know, he was like a polymath, like him, Ben Franklin, and other people knew so much about different subjects. And all of that contributed to them being great statesmen. That's what I strive for. I mean,
I literally say that all the time when I talk to my friends. It's like being well versed and being exposed to different things allows you to make better policy. If you grew up with a silver spoon and you were only around one demographic your entire life, of course you wouldn't sit there and believe that there are people struggling in certain neighborhoods, that this needs a little more invest. Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't occur to you that you might need to pass out some legislation. Dare I say it, but like Trump was born into like a billionaire family. What the hell does he know besides what they owned in Section 8 housing and that stuff in which they're the landlord?
I kick the black people out. It's okay. I know about the urban community. Yeah.
Right. What do they know?
Yeah.
Right. Like there's not enough people that are like bootstrapped from the ground. And it's hard because it requires campaign money. It requires support from other people who are already in those positions. But in order to know those people, you have to be part of the club.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, and that's the other thing too, like why I've never ascribed ever since I confronted AOC too. That really put the nail in the coffin because I believed in AOC. That's the other irony of this, you know, like when she first got elected, I thought, hey, maybe, and when she first got elected, there was something that was sort of pivotal moment in my life where I was living in a basement apartment with my mother and grandfather. I was 19 years old, and the ceiling had pooled sewage water from the upstairs tenants. And then it all just came crashing down. It would keep crashing down. I call my landlord, and you know, he's like, what do you want me to do? So I go to the city council. I go get the media. Media does a story. To this day, if you Google Morris Heights apartment in shambles, you'll see me there, 19 years old, looking stupid.
I've seen the clip.
Hey,
Definitely
Andrew, can you quickly search that while he's talking about it? What was it? What is it called?
Morris Heights apartment in shambles, Bronx 12 news.
Morris.
I've seen it for sure on Due Dissidence.
Oh yeah. And so like, you know, and it's Bronx 12 or News 12, you know, and there I am, 19 years old, and like, you know, I wrote an email to AOC, and in that email, like, because she had just won the primary. Now, albeit she didn't win the general election, I'll give her that, but she won the primary. And in that email, I remember writing, I posted the screenshots. I wrote, you know, I don't know if you're real or not, but this is happening to me, and I would really appreciate it if you could come and spread the light on this. And I never heard back, you know. And even then, I was still holding out hope that she might be better, she might be different, she might do something, you know.
Now, what's your problems with AOC? Because she speaks well, but there's a dark side to her that I can't get behind AOC.
Well, for one, it was her support. Well, actually, it goes even before her support for the war in Ukraine. But like one of the things she said she was going to do, along with the other progressive squad members, was withhold her vote for the Speaker of the House, which at the time was Nancy Pelosi. And she said, I'm going to withhold my vote for Nancy Pelosi unless she agrees to bring Medicare for all onto the House floor. For people who don't know how government and politics works, basically, you can be any congressman. You can write any bill you want. It doesn't fucking matter if the Speaker of the House won't bring it to the floor, right? So, like, right now, the Speaker of the floor of the House is Mike Johnson, right? I could write the best piece of legislation in the world. And if Mike Johnson won't bring it to the floor to be voted, it just won't be. So she said, I'm going to do that to Nancy Pelosi. If she doesn't bring this to the floor, I'm not going to vote for her to be the Speaker of the House. And well, she didn't vote for it. So, no, but she didn't do that. She didn't. She just let Nancy Pelosi go through. There was never any vote on that. So that's one thing. And then it was the fact that she supported the war in Ukraine, became a tool of the military establishment, despite the fact that she knows or says she knows about CIA infiltration, and went on Glenn Greenwald's show talking about how she was going to oh shit. Oh fuck, I got an emergency to deal with. Hey, can I be right back in 1 minute?
Yeah.
You're
Totally
all right.
fine.
You're all good, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying this. We get the best guests, don't we?
Yes, we do. Andrew, cut to us real quick. Dude, honestly, I didn't know like too much about him, but I like him.
Well, the thing I want to ask him is, like, we look at someone like Massey that's in Congress, and he does a lot, even though he's just one guy. What can one guy do? That was my next question. It's like, okay, let's say you get in, you have the victory, David slays Goliath, and you get into office against all this political money. What do you actually do?
Yeah.
Right? As one guy, because we've seen like Massey makes a lot of noise.
There's not enough people that are reasonable, come from these roots, and can actually push these things forward. You're right.
And it's crazy because, like, you look at these political candidates and they're literally not real people. It's like someone like cut something out of cardboard and like Pinocchio brought it to life, and now it's your senator or something.
Like you get into Congress, like, you come into my place, and you think you can just walk in here and make decisions without me? And then they just put these guys in their place, and that is so unfortunate. I guarantee you there's a bunch of people that have gone into he's back. Okay, cool.
He's back. We got the video as well.
Okay. Yeah, the video that you're gonna play about is basically like the origin story, I guess. That's how the Due Dissidents guys did it on the documentary of like what got me like really. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna play this.
One tenant's weekend was anything but relaxing in Morris Heights. His apartment damaged, causing severe flooding.
News for the Bronx reporter Aisha McKenzie went to East 177th Street to check it out.
Friday, just half of that wall came down.
Jose Vega sending the cell phone video to News 12 of the aftermath of his ceiling dropping onto the floor, causing his Morris Heights basement apartment to become an unsanitary mess.
Super said he stopped the water, and yet the water still kept falling.
In just one weekend, Vega's comfy home of 5 years becoming almost unlivable.
How uncomfortable am I feeling in my own home? Everything has been flipped upside down. If I'm not careful, I can't get sleep because it'll just seep into the rooms.
He says he called his landlord multiple times to tell him about the gaping hole in the ceiling and the water him and his mother have had to mop out the door.
We got a hold of the landlord on Sunday. He told my mother, hey, if you want, I can rip up the lease we just signed a week ago and just get your things out and leave within these 3 days, and I'll completely forget all about it.
And why didn't you want to do that?
I didn't want to do that because he was subjecting us and treating us like animals, as if we were just worthless, and that he was just going to kick us out.
We contacted the landlord, and he tells us he's aware of the problems, that a super went by to fix the pipes, and up next is a ceiling that he tells us will be fixed by the end of the day. In Morris Heights, Aisha McKenzie, News 12, The Bronx.
Isn't it wild? You have to do all of that just to have the slumlord be able to fix your apartment.
Yeah, but he didn't fix it. Here's the thing.
Oh, he didn't?
No, right. What happened was, after that news footage came out, I went back to my city councilman, who was very helpful. I told him, look, I got a lawyer pro bono, and the lawyer says there's black mold in the apartment. He says we can get a 7-figure settlement. And the city councilman's like, okay, interesting. I go back the next day, and he's like, look, Jose, this is a city councilman telling me this. What if somebody came to you with $15,000 and you just let all this go?
Oh.
And I'm like,
wow.
I would
pay off. We're gonna give you a little slice of the pie. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm like, hold on. First of all, I would maybe consider that for $999 million. And I would only consider it at that point. Secondly, you have other people in your district who are also dealing with this. I'm not the only person whose ceiling is caving in. And then he goes, yeah, but you're the one in front of me. And, and then he starts chastising me like, dude, like you could be the mayor someday. You care so much about other people and that's great.
If you work with us, we'll make it all happen. Yeah, it's mafia stuff, man. It's how our government works.
It got worse because the next day I'm going back to the apartment. So my mom and I had moved. We didn't move out, but we basically went. Like I temporarily moved in with my sister. We couldn't stay there. We just couldn't stay there. So she went to go live with my uncle. I went to go live with my sister in the meanwhile. And I'm going to that apartment every day. I come back. The locks have been changed.
No.
And that's illegal. Right.
Yeah.
So I call the lawyer. The lawyer's like, you got a slam dunk. Call the police. Call the police. Police is like, well, your mom's name's on the lease. Can you give her a call? I call my mom. My mom's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And so I call my mom back and I'm in tears because the police are like, listen, kid, like, we don't know what the hell you're doing. We don't even believe that you live here. And the landlord's lackey comes out and starts denouncing me as a squatter, saying like, we changed the locks because this guy's a squatter and we don't want him here. Turns out the city councilman had the chief of staff call my mom the night before the landlord changed the lock and said, if your son goes through with this lawsuit, no landlord in New York City will ever rent to your son again.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And they successfully intimidated my mom. And so there I was, and all my books, my clothes were just stuck in there forever. And like I couldn't.
What was the smell like? Because sewer water in New York is no joke. I lived in that area. Disgusting.
It smelled like shit. It smelled like fucking shit, piss, shit, the whole fucking 9 yards. Just know, and like it was one of these things where I was like, fuck the local city, the whole government is complicit in keeping the Bronx poor as it is.
Well, let's dissect this, right? Like the guy who owns the building, he can easily be part of any number of like organizations in terms of like they have real estate organizations in which like landlords know each other. And for you to own a whole building in New York, by the way, you got something to play with, or you've inherited it from a very long time, but you are part of the system. Guarantee you that guy started making calls the moment that went onto the news. And then at that point, I mean, the guy you were talking to, the I forget the councilman, he got pressure from somebody else. And it just trickled down and it was just pressure because somebody up high said, if you let this go, it's going to create a mess for the rest of people because they see one guy get away with this. They all could get away with this. And then we have lawsuits after lawsuits. And you don't want to be responsible for messing up New York's housing system, do you?
Yeah.
And clean it up.
That's the thing is no matter whether you go local level, state level, or federal level, it all operates off that way. It operates off bureaucracy. It operates off people that are appointed to positions or appointed to, inheriting a building or whatnot. So you're a part of XYZ community that other people can't get into. And that's what Americans are sick of. And I think that's why you and other independent candidates are really shining out there left and right. Whatever dimension of politics you want to say. I think that's why people like you are surging right now. I wanted to know, when you were gone on the break, me and Tim discussed this a little bit. I wanted to know what one man can do. What can one man do? Like we look at Massey, we look at a lot of the effects that he's had, speaking truth to power on a lot of things. Even if you disagree with some of his policies, he's a guy that even though he doesn't have his party's support, he's making a lot of things happen. How does one man win?
You can do quite a lot. And look, I do not come from money. Both of my parents were immigrants. I was born in the Bronx. Both of my parents came from El Salvador. The Salvadoran Civil War was something that was manipulated by the United States and the CIA. And, they were both refugees. My dad fought in it at the age of 15 years old.
Wow.
He still shows me that the exit card that they gave him, and he looks like a much skinnier version of me, and so he came to this country as an illegal immigrant and we come from nothing. Growing up in the Bronx, I come from nothing, and yet, like, I don't know how I've gotten to the places I've gotten to, but it's like the first thing I want to tell people, it's like things can be done, and it's not the same linear path for everybody, but I want people to know that, like, you can do something. Like, it is possible. It is possible. Like, if I, who just came from nothing, can, be on the podcast with you guys, with Due Dissidence, with Jimmy Dore,
Right.
and the power of the cell phone has given people now. You can look up if your congressman is doing a town hall, some ribbon cutting ceremony, some press conference, look for them. And you have to engage in nonviolent, direct, creative action. You have to confront them. You have to tell the truth. You have to ridicule these people. You have to mock them. You have to look at them and to belittle them, because my favorite video of me confronting a politician was when I confronted Nancy Pelosi in Manhattan. And I stood up and I said, "Hey, Nancy, I came to see a warmonger. You're just a sad old drunk. What happened?" And like, to be met with the crowd of boos, like cows of the liberal audience. But, like, and that video went like stupid viral, because it wasn't just denouncing her. It was also the fact that I have an intention behind this. And I think that anybody else, you shouldn't think of yourself as just one person, because if you stand up, you will find other people will start standing up because you stood up too. And if you only inspire 2-3 other people, you don't know how many people those 2-3 other people are also going to inspire as well. And it only works if other people decide to stand up too. So
yes, and a lot of the time, like, Tim is an optimist, a lot like yourself. He's always looking for
white pill,
and then I'm black pill, and then I'm white, he's black. It's the gray area. It's all fun.
We're backwards, baby.
It's all fun. We like to have fun here, but I think that's a great message. I think that's phenomenal for people to hear. I want to see real change, and I think real change starts at like local or state level politics, or people running for Congress. Things that are achievable, and I really do believe it is achievable to win, especially when you have such a great disparity in that district, and such really a great disparity in the messaging as well. When Richie Torres is someone that advocates for death and is paid off by all these various groups, whereas you're independent, you're David trying to slay Goliath, and David does slay Goliath in the story. Thank you for coming on our show tonight,
man. I hope you win. We need more people that are not part of the establishment. Endorsed. You have my endorsement, man.
You guys, thank you for having me. When are you guys coming up to New York?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We're going to New Jersey.
Yeah, we're going to New Jersey.
But that won't be until March, right?
Yeah.
We will be in Jersey.
We won't reveal a location just yet. Maybe some sleuths in the audience. BB Netanyahu.
Okay, well, let's stay in contact. I'll DM you my number. Maybe we could go.
Yeah, definitely hit us up. We definitely need to connect. Especially next time you're in New York, we'll definitely hit you up for sure.
Yes.
March 8th, Keaton may be doing something with me in the Bronx, in New York City. Right. So I don't know if those dates match up or not, but if possible, let's make it happen. I'd be happy to have you guys here, give you a tour of the Bronx. And I'll show you my office studio. I'm not in the office studio. I'm not allowed to be there alone because of all the death threats now. So I'm doing it from my home. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. A lot of people who advise me.
We're gonna make something happen, man. Thank you for being on our show, Jose. You're a great guy.
Thank you guys. This is great, and thank you, Due Dissidence, for connecting us. Basically,
indeed. Yeah. Shout out to Due Dissidence. I love them. That's my favorite program to watch right now. For real. Thank you.
Of course. No, thank you guys. All right. I'm getting out of here.
All right, we'll check in with you.
Take it easy. Wow, another great interview in the books completed, and that's very fun. And we're gonna be doing a lot on the gray area where we go out to other places, we meet with people, we're even talking about like man on the street stuff, IRL stuff, because we see the slop that's put out there. I think we can do much better than this.
How dare you bring a leftist onto this show?
He violated, the sanctity of the right wing.
Yeah, I mean,
how dare you?
We're just having conversations.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Right. We agreed so much more than we disagreed. Exactly. I don't even think we had a debate with this guy.
Right?
Dare I say, we are now libtards?
I guess so. We're libtards. We're alt-right as well. We're bigot, but somehow weak on the race issue as well.
Right.
It's all
right. It's all one mosh pit.
Everyone on a team gets mad when they watch the show because they don't support my team, and it's like, well, we're not playing a team sport. We're playing like the sport of like humanity and trying to save our country.
America, save the country. You're right.
Exactly.
100%.
And we got heavy stuff tonight. Yeah. So the show's just getting started.
Thank you for everybody who is in here right now. I see a lot of comments. We'll probably read through some of those because we were in the flow of things. But for anybody who doesn't know, normally after we have a guest, we do a deep dive. But tonight,
it's kind of deep dive as well.
This is a different kind of deep dive.
This is the deepest dive
This
you
is
can
the
do.
deep.
Into the pit.
Yeah, this goes into the abyss. Some of the stuff, we might sound light at certain points just because there's only sometimes the only way you can get through it to get through it. But there's some really serious stuff in which I have some things that I want to say and express about this whole Epstein.
And you can break all that down.
And the people that are involved. But like, I've gone through the files. I've gone through and tried to pull some of the somebody said the dark dive.
Yeah, dark dive. That's what this is. It's darkness dive.
Yes, dude. Somebody said that this is the dark dive. So, there's people I'm hearing about that I've seen and I've read now that are part of these latest drops, and I wasn't expecting it. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't even know if we'll say Mr. X for right now. Let's just say that because I don't.
That's a good one.
I don't want to say his name because I'm even nervous that after this, like, let's say
rhymes with Tusk.
Yeah. Let's say Grok and that whole entity
dances with rockets. Dances with rockets. That's the code name.
Rhymes with Sneelon. And it's like I'm joking about it, but I'm genuinely nervous. Like
epic
for us to get suppressed after this. Not that he's that type of guy that I would think would go out there and punish people for talking about these things. But like on the gray area, no one is exempt from getting their laundry aired out. And I just look at facts, man. You know me, Rex.
Right. Very evidence-based.
I'm like, you are innocent until proven guilty in my mind until I have the evidence in front of me, because it's very hard to get like pulled in different directions. And some people have it right. Sometimes it's a half truth. But when I went on the DOJ's website and I'm looking at these things for myself, I'm like, there's no other way for me to interpret it.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you know what? Yes, I like this.
I call him Rocket Man. All right. Shout out to you, Thomas.
Yes, we're gonna call him Rocket Man.
Oh man,
because I'm a Rocket Man.
Do you want to go ahead and go to that and go to some of that?
Do you want to start with him?
Well, which
I want to start with the gaslighting.
Oh yes. We saved this at the
beginning.
We saved
this at the beginning.
Like, no.
Let's. You know what? Let's start with Danny. Big old Danny boy, because we were told, guys, remember, we were not. There's nothing to look here, nothing to see here, guys. Right. So go ahead, Andrew, pull up this Bongino. I've got it highlighted here. We're gonna start covering the people who gaslit us, and then we're gonna go into the specifics of who's in the actual files itself. You're going to get your laundry aired out.
Dark dive.
I'm tired of getting gaslit. What happened? I'm going to keep singing my song.
Dark dive.
Yeah, this is, and I will get really serious about this at a certain point because there's really things in here that like.
Oh, there's no way to laugh.
I don't even know if we're going to read it. Some of the stuff when it gets to the Trump stuff, but like I'm even just it feels heavy to even read that stuff out loud for people. All right, go ahead and play this Bongino clip.
Look how shiny he is too. Notice how shiny.
Obviously are of significant public interest. I'm just telling you what we see in the file. I just want to be crystal clear on this. I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm telling you what's there and what isn't.
Right.
There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case, and there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay, it was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Right.
There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time,
we got the video, and we're going to show it to people, but we got to make sure there's not anything too bad on there,
And then it's like they release a video. I think he's talking about the Epstein footage of like a side shot of like the staircase
staircase, and then the 1 minute missing at midnight where there's a guy that actually walks through. That's Exhibit A of gaslighting. Can we pull up Exhibit B of Pam Bondi also gaslighting us as the public?
Do we have Cash as well?
Let's go Cash next, honestly.
Yeah, but that's up top. That's up
Is it?
top on the dock.
Let me see.
Hang
Here, I got
Maybe it's not.
Cash Patel.
Because like the thing that we were told is that number one, it doesn't exist. Number two, he didn't traffic anybody. Number three, shut up, bigot. And then number four, yeah, we got it right here.
Yeah, there it is.
Beautiful.
Is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
Is no credible information.
Okay, we can go back.
All right, so
all the emails is like trafficking XYZ, sending this person here, there, the other place, blah, blah, blah. And they say, we don't have any evidence. They would have millions of emails.
All right, so now let's pull up the first exhibit. Let's talk about who are we going to air out first?
Let's play Levin really quick.
Levin?
Yeah, it's I thought it was up there. Never mind. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and get into the exhibits.
Let's just get into the exhibits, and then we'll also play the other people. First one I want to bring up. Let's bring up number one here for Trump.
We can take our time.
We can take our time.
We can take our time with this. We got so much. We probably got 50 different.
It's this expo stuff highlighted here. Which corner of the
are we
going top left
accusations first?
Did you want to start here
we can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
We can do that. Now I'm going to change words somewhere because some of the words are really bad. And these are accusations that people have made about Trump. And these are in the Epstein file. Let's go to that one so I can read it.
Yeah.
It's bottom
left.
It's bottom left that he's got up.
Yeah, he's got it right here. No, you're good.
Okay.
Andrew, go back to that first one. We're good. All right. Go ahead and read that.
Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's blank and blank by entering a finger and then rated the children on blank. The guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Don Jr., Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral blank to Donald J. Trump, forced to allow them to grape us. I was 13 years old when Donald Trump graped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. So, wow, let's go to the next slide. We'll go ahead and read these off so people can get a taste of these accusations. Blank reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13, 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral blank. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. This is another victim on the bottom. Blank reported she is a friend Blank who was a personal assistant to Epstein in Florida from 1986 until 1991 or 1992. This friend shared names of some of the guests at Epstein's parties to include Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. At age 16, while modeling, Collar attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, Collar reported that she was sexually assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured Collar and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Collar stated Orrin blanked her best friend and third brother, Tal, blanked a 14-year-old girl named Blank. Collar named other individuals involved in quote-unquote big orgy parties with other young girls and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Online complainant reported that she was a victim and witness to sex trafficking ring at Trump Golf Course in Rancho Palos Verdes, California between 1995 and 1996. Complainant reported Ghislaine Maxwell as the madam and broker for sex parties, clients of whom included Epstein, Robert Leach, and Donald Trump. Complainant reported participating in orgies and that some of the girls went missing, rumored to have been blanked and blanked at the facility buried. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump and head of security that if she ever talked of what went on there or who she saw, he would end up as fertilizer for the back 9 holes like the other blanks. That's just like these are accusations.
These are accusations. Not everything. It's so hard to distill.
That's the thing, right?
So hard to distill. This stuff is so frustrating. I see people fighting online about this stuff.
We're not taking a side. We're reporting the news.
They're like, all right, this stuff isn't true. This stuff is true. Like, this is false.
This is outrageous.
And some of it has to be true, guys.
That's the thing.
It may not all be true, but let's say let's just play devil's advocate.
Imagine 10% of it is.
Even if 1%
Right.
And one of these accusations is true out of what say, like, I think there was like 20 on the official document that I've seen. Even if one is completely true, this stuff is sick.
Right. And we have Nimrod Pod saying all these Trump allegations were phone calls to a hotline after Trump became president. There's also a disclaimer that says complainant not found credible.
Well, okay.
So they're calling
Totally.
about Epstein.
Hey,
like
fine. I'll give the people and be like, all right, maybe these might be false, but there's things that are not false.
Oh, we're gonna get into
when we go
direct
into
email.
direct emails.
We're gonna get into direct email. We're gonna
I
get
was
into
gonna
all of it.
I was gonna save this one, but I think right now, since we're already covering this, Andrew, can you please pull up the following email right here, highlighted, that I have highlighted? Actually, pull them up.
Yeah,
both.
let's go to the justice.gov page.
Yeah, this is coming directly from the government's website as well.
And here's the thing: even if you think this is totally fake or whatever, we're reporting the news here. This is circulating around the country, and people are believing that he did this and are making electoral decisions based off of that. It's worthy.
It don't matter what. I'm not a robot.
Yeah, you got to do verification.
Oh, I'm real as fuck, baby.
You want me to read it again?
Yeah, we're so before this, okay. Andrew, can you pull up the other one and let's. I want to show these side by side almost, but that part's redacted in between. You got this very first one. So let's go ahead and go to the other one real quick, Andrew. And let me pull this up too, because I need to see. Okay. So now it tells you cellular telephone number. They actually redact the name, but it says
tell you where the
office
office is.
address in Princeton, New Jersey, 08542. Like, how stupid can you be when you're releasing these files and realize we're uploading the same document and some of them are redacted and some of them are unredacted? But I'm going to focus on this one that's less redacted here. And we're going to go and show exactly what's happening with Trump. Because if you don't believe the first one, this one you probably should believe.
Let me know.
I'm just going to, I don't want to read all of that. This is so long. I want to get directly to actually, no, we'll start here.
I don't mind doing it.
Let's start.
Blank cellular telephone number, blank office address located in Princeton, New Jersey, 08542. Home address located in Lawrence Township, New Jersey, 08648. Attorney to Jane Doe contacted the public access line to report the sexual exploitation and rape of a blank of 13 years of age by Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, case number, blah, blah. Blank stated that his client, Jane Doe, was enticed to cross state lines to visit with Epstein and Trump to perform blank acts on both adult men at special parties hosted by Epstein. Doe was told that this was to further her modeling career and something that she had to do. During the summer of 1994, after her 7th grade school year ended, Doe took a 3-day bus trip from her father's home in the Midwest under the pretense that she'd be visiting her grandmother. Doe traveled instead to New York City, New York, in order to start a modeling career. Doe was initially turned down and asked to return with a portfolio at a later time. While waiting for her bus home, Doe was approached by blank, referred to hereafter as blank. It was urged to return to attend a party hosted by Epstein. Who are the redactions?
Let me see if I can go to the other document. Maybe they actually redacted.
No, they made sure.
They made sure this one was also redacted.
Yeah, so it's the same.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. It is the same.
By Epstein, so that Doe could meet important people in that field of work who could help her break into a modeling career. Doe was also told that she would be able to pay for attending the party. That she'd be paid for attending the party. Blank mailed Doe a buddy pass plane ticket to fly her back to New York. Doe attended 4 of these parties, was paid around $500 for her attendance. Blank instructed Doe to use the
and
name
pause
blank.
real quick. $500 back during this time is a lot of money for a kid.
$1,500.
For me, I had like $100 and I felt rich.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not impossible to think that they would end up trying to coerce people by this way. And not even just that, she wanted to be a model.
Right. And we got people in the chat saying that it's fake. It's breaking news is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and read it. During the first party, Doe was asked to strip down to her underwear and give a massage to Epstein, asked by Epstein to do grape acts, but she refused. Doe was later asked to massage the blank of Epstein's guest, Trump, with her hand. Doe was told that this was what she had to do in order to get a job, and she complied. During the second party, Doe was asked to perform oral blank on Trump and complied. During the third party, Doe was made to perform oral blank on Trump with another young girl named Blank. During the fourth visit, Doe was blanked by Trump vaginally. Oh, damn it. It's hard. Penetrating blah, blah with blah, blah. Epstein was angry that Trump was the one to take blah, blah's virginity and went on to grape dough by. It's so horrible.
It's so horrible.
Yeah.
And you know what, Rex? While I was reading this and I read line for line, I just like, it's not even hard for anyone or even myself to believe that even remotely some of this is true.
Right. Well, the thing is like everyone admits that Epstein is like the most like notorious fucking like it's in the popular culture. Like he's the worst of the worst, like predator, billionaire, whatever you want to call him, right? And to think about Trump being friends with him for years and years and years, and it's like, oh, I kicked him out of the club, whatever. Ultimately, why is everyone heavily involved with this guy? And suddenly everyone that's heavily involved with this guy is like, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. I didn't know the guy. I barely knew him. But everybody knew this guy. Everyone, go back to us. Everyone knew Jeffrey Epstein.
Everybody knew him.
Everyone knew who he was.
Everybody knew him. And the problem is I hear a lot of people being like, oh, this was debunked. Look, also just keep in mind, the people that are implicated have infinite amount of power, right?
Right.
So do you not realize there's also like other people on the other side that can come in, throw things that they say, oh, well, this is debunked. This is not fact. This is not fact. And that's the confusion part. Because when you have enough confusion, you're not going to know what's right from wrong.
Right.
It could very much be in plain sight for us to see that there is something in here that is completely accurate. And maybe not every single detail is not accurate in this whole thing. But there's nothing in my mind that does not convince me that there wasn't at least something of this manner in which you just see Trump was hypersexual. Go look at some of his past videos and things when he's at pageants and the way he's like talking to the girls and some of the stuff. Like
I've always thought
I've
always thought if she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. Is really weird. It's just a really weird.
The hot mic
really
scenarios, you know. And
let's go
to Rock. I want to go to Rocket Man real quick because you know he was listed on this first set.
Dances with
and it's very
satellites.
easy to say like, okay, that's fine. That's not true. Rocket Man had nothing to do with this. And we'll read the first one here, Andrew, on the first post that says, you know, him defending himself. So
I was too lame to.
So he
get on the
says,
island.
This is what Elon says about his involvement in the Epstein files in the past, right? In an email, Elon Musk responded, I do not recall introducing Epstein to anyone. As I know the guy well enough to do so, Epstein obviously is a creep, and Zuckerberg is not a friend of mine. Several years ago, I was in a house in Manhattan for about 30 minutes in the middle of the afternoon with Riley, and she was curious about this meeting with a strange person for a novel she was writing. We did not see anything inappropriate at all, apart from the weird art. And
What would the weird art be? The photo or the painting of Bill Clinton wearing a dress, wearing heels that's in Epstein's house. You know about this?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's like, oh, well, you know, we're just meeting with the guy. It's random. You know, he's got the PDF file art all over his house, but it is what it is. You know, it's just, writing a book. And it's just like, no one buys this stuff. It's the same way with the politicians not being real. It's just like you glow in the dark.
100%.
Go ahead.
And we did not see anything inappropriate at all. He tried repeatedly telling me to get to visit his island. I declined.
Oh, we'll fact check that.
Yeah, we'll fact check that. A Musk spokesperson emailed.
That's
Elon
right.
never introduced Jeffrey Epstein to Mark Zuckerberg and does not know either person well enough to do so. They simply happened to be guests at a neuroscience dinner organized by Reid Hoffman.
Yeah, no one's ever connected. No one's ever implicated. It's all, oh, we met this guy one time. Oh, well, he has your email and you're corresponding with him and messaging him and talking about epic island vacations and all of this.
100%.
It's unbelievable.
Let me see what else. Just, you know, I want to see what else he did to define himself. To defend himself. Or actually, I think like, okay, yeah, this next X post, right? He talking about shame on Sky News. He says, shame on Sky News for this utterly misleading headline. Anyone pushing this false narrative deserves a complete contempt. Epstein tried to get me to go to his island, and I refused. And yet, they named me even before Prince Andrew, who did visit. Okay. At first, I read this, and I'm like, there's no... I was like, all right, there's no way he's part of it. Like, I mean, it's the guy has, you know, certain level of, like, Asperger's. Like, why? What does he have to do with any of this stuff? You know?
Right.
Maybe he could be not part of this, right? But then let's go to the first email. I struggled when I started reading this stuff. Let's go ahead and start with the first one, Rex.
All right, who's who? Would you point that out?
First one from Elon Musk.
Okay.
He says this.
From Rocket Man. Actually, I could fly back early on the 3rd. We will be in St. Bart's. When should we head to your island? Time on the 2nd. And then Epstein or Elon says, I need to fly back to LA on the night of the 2nd. So W. Then Jeffrey says, the 2 or 3 would be perfect. I'll come and get you. Oh, you don't want to hear Jeffrey say that to you.
Uh-oh.
That's the last thing a little kid hears before it all goes dark.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any day, 1st to the 8th, play it by ear if you want. Always space for you. And then Elon says, will it be in the BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays? Or that's just the top of the email chain. And
is there a good time to visit?
All right, look at the email disclaimer. Imagine having a disclaimer like this on your emails. The information contained in this communication is confidential, may be attorney-client privilege, may constitute inside information, is intended only for the use of the addressee. Good luck on that, Jeffrey, R.I.P. It is the property of Jeffrey Epstein, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, that's receipt number 1.
We got the next one.
Let's go to the next receipt. Another one that he's involved in. Guys, I'm pulling this directly from the DOJ's website. There's no other way for us to misinterpret this. From Rocket Man to Epstein, sent from my iPhone. Are we in New Mexico? And then on the bottom to Rocket Man, is there one solar city that?
That's Rocket Man. That's Epstein.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's trying to get. He's trying to get tips on how to power the rape mansion.
Yeah. He says, is
no.
there anyone at Solar City that my guys can talk to about electrifying the Caribbean island or the New Mexico ranch?
Wow. So that's Zorro Ranch. It's like the medical facility that he had. So he's asking Elon for tips on how to power.
Well, you wouldn't, Rex, you can ask tips from people that aren't, you're not friends with, right? 100%. It gets worse.
Oh, that's bad.
Okay.
From Elon Musk to Jeffrey Epstein.
Rocket Man.
Sunday, November 25th, 2012. So this is not, this has been debunked. It came out. This is an actual email.
And just keep in mind, Epstein is convicted in 2012.
Yes.
At this point, I'm almost positive he's been convicted.
Oh, definitely. Probably just Tallulah and me. What day night will be the wildest party on our island? So it's the club's island now, and it's very clear to see. I mean, this is very disturbing. How many people will you be for the helicopter to island? That's Jeffrey asking.
All right. I was like, okay, fine. This one gets worse, right? Yes. Keep going.
Ratio is not a problem for Tallulah. Understand, I will see you on St. Bart's. The ratio on my island might make Tallulah uncomfortable. Do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of sanity this year. And so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for.
The opposite of what I'm looking for. The invitation is much appreciated. The peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for. I didn't know how to I didn't know how else to interpret this, Rex.
All right.
What is the opposite of a peaceful experience? I don't know.
Drinking baby blood or something.
I don't know, man.
No. You're welcome to stay or just come for the day. Plenty of room. He types like an invalid. I will send heli to get you. What's up with all the equal sign?
I don't know.
What's up with that?
I thought it's like, I don't know, maybe there's a ability that it messes up for something to not track you. I don't know, man. I really
or maybe it's
not
code.
know.
Oh, and here's the epic island vacation. This is my favorite. I'm so sorry, Elon. You just missed Jeffrey Epstein. He actually told me he was thinking of winding down the. Okay, it's all good.
Let me highlight this for you, bro.
All good. I think we got it. Yeah, it's the right one.
It's this this PBS.
He's got it, I think.
Yes, that is it. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Elon. You just missed Jeffrey.
But Elon's it said, I'm sorry, Rocket Man's thing, and it said from blank from SpaceX, right? Like SpaceX, there was no misinterpretation to see where the email came from. Whoever did messed up. They royally messed up, right? But then, we see, let me see this real quick. Okay. Let's Andrew go down to number let's go down to number 10, the one that you've pulled up. This is hard for me, man. I genuinely, I'm not kidding with you guys. I believed in like his crusade to like save humanity. I actually thought that was what was going on. I thought that was exactly what we needed. Are we looking at the same one?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, Andrew, down here.
No, I understand what you're saying, man. It's the same thing with X, right? And it's like free speech is so important to me, and I was so amazed that someone actually was like, "I'll spend the money and do this thing so that people are actually able to communicate." And then you see like suppression and stuff, man. So it's very sad.
Let's go ahead and read this one. Nobody has fought harder for the full release of the Epstein Files and prosecutions of those who abused children more than I did, knowing full well that legacy media, far left propagandists, and those who are actually guilty would, 1, admit nothing, 2, deny everything, 3, make counter accusations against me. I knew that I'd be smeared relentlessly, despite never having attended his parties or being on the Lolita Express, which
Right.
that is the Lolita Express. I think we've covered this on a previous one. That is like his private jet that like
Right,
all
and-
these people
And the
flown on.
Lolita is like a little girl too, so like it's a double meaning. You know, it's like Pinocchio, where they take you to Treasure Island and turn you into a donkey.
Yes. And it says, I've never set foot on his creepy island or done anything wrong at all. Nonetheless, I'm the extreme pain of being accused of being the opposite of who I am was worth it. The strong must protect those who cannot protect themselves, especially vulnerable children, and I gladly accept the amount of future pain to do more to protect kids and give them a chance to grow up and have happy lives. Look, I'm going to say something here. If I'm completely wrong, look, this is all hearsay. This is all hearsay. We're all just consuming the content that's being
We're
put out
reporting
there.
on what's circulating right now.
I'm not here to sit here and be like, all right, he 100% did it or he was 100% exonerated. I'm just reading what we know up till now.
Right.
And, you know, there is a possibility that like some of these files could be fake. Andrew talked to me about it earlier. I'm like, yeah, that's where the confusion comes from. And that's what the confusion is designed for.
But ultimately, if we're dealing with this struggle of like things being fake, things being real, the solution is sunlight is the best disinfectant. You release everything. And when people say that, you go, you want to see videos of kids? Are you the sicko? And it's like, no, there are teams of people that already review this type of stuff. They already know the names. If they didn't know the names, they wouldn't have put the black box over it, right? They wouldn't have released it. That's what we're owed as the American public. And we talked about this at the beginning of the broadcast. We cannot let this go.
Cannot let it go.
It's outright. They
won't let this
No,
go.
absolutely not. Like ultimately it's treasonous behavior beyond anything, because of course it's the grape crimes with the children and the human trafficking and the murder. Obviously, the murder is talked about in multiple of the emails. Beyond any of that, like these are the people that run our country, and these are the people that make the rules, and they're the biggest rule breakers around.
Yeah. So if there's even a 1% chance that it's true, we're gonna cover it,
Right.
guys. Like I mean, like it's very hard when it comes out of the government, and it's so confusing to know what the government is lying, is not lying. Are they trying to smear him? Maybe not. But you know, one person that has had enough of the smoke come on him, Bill Gates himself.
Oh, this is crazy.
Bill Gates
Everyone's
himself.
seen this. Everyone's seen this,
Is
but
this
it's
the
so good.
Maybe is this the one that you're talking about?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's go ahead and pull this up.
What we talk about on the island is what matters. In total agreement, and have categorically told me that we cannot have any direct ongoing business relationship, in total disregard for its impact on the public perception of my reputation. I will have to diligently avoid the truth, tell people that Bill will not invest with me, and craft an answer that suits your needs, but you did not agree to send. It's written so bad.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when you're in a fit of rage, Rex,
that's a good point.
There's strong possibility that you're not going to sit there and like fact check yourself and correct yourself. It says tie diligently.
That's a great point, Tim, because it's like, what's the explanation for his horrible writing? Maybe he's so angry every time he actually has to get on a computer and like do something. He's like, like smacking his hands around or whatever, right? But damn, where were we? Okay.
We were
diligently avoid the truth, tell people that Bill will not invest with me, and craft an answer that suits your needs. But you did agree to send a letter of recommendation should a future employer ask for one. You have told me that Melinda insists on me not communicating with you unless Larry is copied or present, though you have consistently maintained that I could not have done a better job, and that
Larry is his lawyer, I
think so.
Yeah.
Larry Summers, I think. Though you have consistently maintained that I could not have done a better job and that I was underpaid compared to my contribution, you then, beyond all sense of fairness and frankly decently, let me tell you, it wasn't very decent, said that it was a generous compensation for keeping the Gates reputation intact. You would let me keep what we agreed that I already owned, the investment pieces, and give me 2 years severance. Damn. Similar to Christine Turner, another casualty. If the shoe was on the other foot, I would have said, Boris, this is not your fault. I confessed to Melinda and you didn't. It was in a moment of weakness, and I will do anything within my power to make it right for you. I have more money than anyone needs. Anyone needs, and I assure you, I will structure something so that you will not be penalized for my error. Lucky for me, I have enough money to provide you, though it will not heal the injury. It will make you secure in your future. In addition, I will bend over backwards to make sure your next career is rewarding and on an upswing. I appreciate the fact this drastically alters your plans, and I'm very aware of the career path you gave up to join the foundation. I am very sorry, but as I believe time heals all wounds, this will eventually pass. In that regard, I suggest you buy the house that you had your heart set on, in addition to 5 years severance. We'll buy you out of the investment contract we had agreed to. 30 to 40% of a $100 million partnership for $30 million in today's dollars, terms and conditions to be agreed. That's what I would have done had I been in your shoes. Okay, so he's given a giant hypothetical.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing.
Okay, now it all makes sense. What I did receive, however, was an unfriendly, strongly worded email telling me how employable I am and that I should not look to you for any significant financial help in the future. To add insult to injury, you can surreptitiously give Melinda in the description of sorry. I got ahead of myself there. It's just a bunch of text. That's what I would have done if I'd been in your shoes. What I did receive, however, was an unfriendly, strongly worded email telling me how employable I am and that I should not look to you for any significant financial help in the future. To add insult to injury, you then implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD, that sexually transmitted disease. Mr. Bill in his pink sweater getting all the puss, getting something else too. What's up there? What do you think about that, Tim?
Wild. I just finished it off, and we're going to talk about this.
Absolutely. Your request that I provide you antibiotics. Jeffrey Epstein's your pharmacist, bro? That you can surreptitiously slip to Melinda in the description of your penis. You also made it very clear to me, include the description here, please. I am not to refer to blank, as that is another topic that must remain between the two of us. What is that? The secret devil worship meeting or something? They blanked that out. In return for all these requests, which I would have done without a second thought, I'm not to attend meetings with Melinda. I should continue to provide the same level of service and dedication, procuring you probably the child of grape that I've done so diligently until you are ready to discard me and our friendship. These are some sick people. Yeah, dude.
Man, I'm in Spain, but the S is silent, man.
Well, we talked about Microsoft. Maybe that's more than a description.
Damn.
Maybe that's a real thing. But we like to have fun here because it is so dark. Of course, it's very disturbing.
I'm trying not to laugh at that one, but damn.
And Bill Gates just visited the White House with Trump. It's all a big club. And then you got people on the right that are like, don't criticize the leader. And everyone on the right's like, F Bill Gates, F Fauci, they should be in jail. Hillary Clinton should be in prison, all this. But keep that same energy.
Can we pull up a quick picture of Bill Gates for a second?
That's a good idea. Look at this.
I just you walk in the street, you look at this guy, he's smiling, and you just
like nothing.
It's like nothing. He's just like, hey, Rex, you're a good guy, man.
Right.
No, this is this is the probably the flattering picture.
I wear fluffy socks.
Go ahead, pull that up. Yeah. That's fine. This is like Grandpa. Grandpa would never do these things. Why would he?
Right.
He's got money.
Get one of him in a sweater. We need him in a sweater because that's my dad's iconic. My dad's iconic bit is, I'm wearing a fluffy sweater. I'm wearing different colored socks.
Oh, the one in the red, the fifth one right there. One of them. Yeah. Tell me,
that guy.
You're walking around. Yeah. I would not suspect this guy, but now that all these things are coming out and I look at the pattern, Rex,
right?
Look at the pattern,
right?
The repeat offender,
right?
I don't see a single black person on there. I don't see a single and this isn't a race thing. Right. I'm saying specifically around the fact that these people have a particular caliber and they're the same people each and every single time I see this particular offense.
Well, let's look at the timeline. I don't mean to step on your point.
No, go ahead.
So he, through his connection with Epstein, whatever, he contracts the STD. He goes to whatever demon party orgy. He gets it, whatnot. He then he doesn't do the preventative or the treatment course for himself. He then goes and has sex with his wife and gives his wife the STD because there'd be no need for you to take the medication if you hadn't given it to her. So it's another level of sick beyond even the first thing. It's like, who would do that?
And Melinda, if you read the email, said something about to like don't have any conversations without our lawyer being involved because she saw the truth behind this man. Andrew, on the document, there is this picture here. Can we please show this picture for everybody to see? Because this is from a Vanity article in which she specifically talks about Bill Gates, and she talks about Epstein specifically.
Right.
Epstein.
All right,
okay,
we got it now. I'll go ahead and start reading it.
Scroll down a little bit so that and zoom in so that there we go. That's perfect. Okay.
We scroll up just a tiny bit.
There you go.
Thank you. Melinda French Gates said that there were a number of factors that led to her decision to divorce her husband of 27 years, Bill Gates, including his work with the late disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. The philanthropists addressed their divorce publicly for the first time in a new interview with Gayle King that aired on CBS this morning on Thursday, explaining that it was not one thing, but many things. Maybe the STD was a big factor in this. It would be me. That led to the demise of their marriage. I did not like that he had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. No, I made that very clear to him, she explained, adding that she met with the convicted sex trafficker exactly one time because she, quote unquote, wanted to see who this man was. She continued, I regretted it the second I walked in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. My heart breaks for these women. In a statement to CBS, Bill said the meeting with Epstein was a mistake that I regret deeply. It was a substantial error. It was an error in judgment. Oh, I'm Bill Gates.
Error of judgment. Yeah.
I had sex with my wife after I had sex with the evil prostitute.
Yeah.
Melinda also spoke openly about her ex-husband's affair with the staffer 20 years ago. Oh, he's dirty macking all over.
All over, man.
All over. With the spokesman or spokesperson for the Microsoft co-founder confirmed in May 2021. I certainly believe in forgiveness, so I thought we had worked through some of that, she confessed. How stupid could you be?
No, but like, dude, no wonder she divorced him. Like, for her as a female, and, Ghislaine is involved in this, so you can't,
I'm sorry. It's just, go ahead. Can't make this stuff up.
I know. But, she's involved, so it's not to say that a woman can't be complicit in these things.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, in general, Melinda probably is a very good person at heart in terms of these things. And she's
disgusted by it, right?
And she's disgusted by it. And the fact that she wanted her lawyer there means that she did not like this at all. And imagine the man that you married. For those who do not know who Bill Gates is, his wife has been there for like everything, man. She was the one that was a rock in his corner. She saw him through all of his ups, all of his downs. There's always somebody in the background. And imagine your husband gives you that STD.
Right.
Not even just after cheating with you. That's just bad enough on its own, right?
Right.
Not just cheating.
He doesn't even clean himself up.
Well, he didn't know, right? Like when you contract one of those things, you never know. It's that bodily fluid that ends up getting you that. And so she had no clue.
Yeah.
But then you start putting the pieces. She's not an idiot. I guarantee you she hired a private investigator to follow her husband around. I don't put that behind because I have a lot of rich friends that do that. And it wasn't hard for her probably to dig this stuff up. That is why Bill Gates is in this story. This is exactly why Bill Gates is in the story. And, Rex, you're sitting here
right
in society and you hear these stories come out. My immediate knee-jerk reaction is like, oh, it can't be true.
Right.
For real. That's what goes through my head. I'm like, these guys are scientific. They're all about research. They're all about saving the world, making clean water and toilets in Africa. Surely he can't be doing that.
Oh, yeah. But you gotta understand, these people know what's best for you. They view themselves really just as the superior race. And that's just people that are billionaires with money. And they're like, we're going to build an off-world civilization. This is the stuff Epstein talked about with uploading the brain to the computer and all this type of stuff. It's always been the science fiction fantasy. But ultimately, these people, instead of wanting clean water, clean food, and end of wars, free housing for everybody, instead of wanting the true utopia, which is possible, which we could have, they're like, no, we're going to keep things in a state of collapse so I can maintain Grape Island.
100%.
So it's crazy.
And guys, this stuff goes beyond our borders. I wanna pull up this thing of the Russian minister real quick, okay? This goes beyond our borders. Like I see this stuff and I'm like, all right, United States. And then I'm like, wait, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Let me pull this up for you guys. All right. This is to a Russian name, and that Russian guy's name is Sergei Belgov or something like that. Super hard to pronounce.
Epstein is retarded. Look at how he spelled businessman. What? I messed
There's a
that up
pattern here.
too.
He makes mistakes every single one of these emails almost. He must just be like dyslexic or something.
Or drunk. Yeah.
So go ahead and read this real quick.
For sure. I very much appreciate it. Hope your summer is filled with fun. Give me a few days to get information about her. How? Oh, I guess
so. Do you have to start from the bottom?
It's like Chinese or something. How are you? I need a favor. There's a Russian girl from Moscow. She's attempting to blackmail a group of powerful businessmen in New York. It is bad for business for everyone involved. She arrived in New York Saturday of last week, staying at the Four Seasons on 57th Street. Suggestions?
And this is him sending an email to the Russian
to the Russian guy.
Yes.
I'm fine. Give me a few days to get information about her.
I very much appreciate it. I hope your summer is filled with fun. I mean, it's the mafia, folks.
100%. And this guy during 2012 to 2015, he was the deputy minister of economic development in Russia. So it just goes to show you. And by the way, they did something about this girl. I don't know exactly what they did. He ended up, there was another email. I didn't pull it in here, unfortunately, because I couldn't find it exactly. There's another email. I read it. Essentially, they had a guy. The guy found information on her, and they were going to do something after. That's pretty much what the email says. Don't even know what happened to that girl, but what happens in Russia stays in Russia.
Right.
So imagine how much power you have to be able to talk to the deputy minister and say, deal with this problem because this girl is causing a lot of issues for these powerful businessmen. That's scary, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had global influence. He was, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, like it's sick to think about, but this guy was a thought leader, right? Like this is a guy that everyone knew, that was respected even after his conviction for grape, you know, which is crazy to think about. You know, like Elon's like, I don't like him. I never talked to him. I didn't want to go to the island. It's like, well, you're talking to him years after his conviction for grape.
Exactly. And you know who he is, man. Like everyone knew who he was at a certain point. If you're rich, you're powerful, you're in the circles, you're in talks.
It's a thing of like, a lot of the time people like, oh, like they just want to party. They're just doing wild sex parties, whatever. No one is worried about someone sucking a ding dong here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about legitimate like crimes against humanity that take place on the island, right? And have taken place in other places where Epstein has like magically been. So,
and then
it's a very serious thing. This isn't even normal like compromat.
No,
it's so bad that like it has to be this bad for the secret to be maintained.
100%.
Because if it's anything less, people would be like, I'm out. Like, I'm leaving this. Like this is not. But it's like, we got you forever because you graped the.
Because you did it.
Yeah.
Because you did it.
Yep.
Right. So now Howard Lutnick, right? Howard Lutnick,
neighbor Epstein and all this.
Yeah, neighbor. So this is him in. Let's pull up this video of him in, I think, 2005. He says this about Epstein, and he basically, says all these different things. I wouldn't come 10 feet in front of him. Go ahead and play this.
I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Really? So I was never in the room with him.
Tough talk when the guy's dead. I mean, if the guy's alive, I guarantee you're not talking about him like this.
This was in 2005, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I could stand corrected.
Oh,
this is in the past. This
wow.
is in the past. I'm almost positive, right? Let me pull this up. Yeah.
Wow.
This is when he was in an interview when he visited his house in 2005. I don't know when the video was recorded.
Oh, he's saying he visited the house.
Oh, in 2005. This video isn't from 2005.
Okay, so the point stands. Yeah, tough talk after the guy's dead. I guarantee if he's alive, it's like you're cowering in fear of Epstein. You're not saying that name.
100%.
Wow. Okay, powerful.
Keep going, Andrew. Keep going.
Socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross. And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift.
Yes.
Of a voice. And so, that's my story. A one and absolutely done.
Some people are too friendly. You know, I respect people that are a little rude because it's who they are and they're real about it. I don't buy that at all. No,
nice. and you know the worst part is he said this about him in 2005. He stepped foot. But you know, let's pull up the emails. Why is he even involved later in the 2010s, specifically 2012? This is confusing.
Right.
All right. This is from Goff, and then this also says about this is go ahead and read this. Sorry.
Hi, Matthew and Candace. So Lutnick's in the file.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hi, Matthew and Candace. Might you be able to give Blank a few more details regarding lunch this Sunday? Do you know if it will just be Howard and his wife? Any kids coming along? Uh-oh. Will they arrive J.E.'s Island via their boat, and around what time is good for them? If you could pass along when you know, that would be great. Blank or CC'd here. Thanks, Leslie. Okay, lunch on Sunday. See you then. From Jeffrey. Come Saturday or Sunday lunch. I keep reading it wrong. I'm sorry. Little St. James on the map behind Crispin's Cove. And then it's him asking to go to the island. I don't even have to read it.
This is a different one. Yeah. You're right. Go ahead.
Hi, Jeff. We are landing in St. Thomas early Saturday afternoon and are planning to head over to St. Bart's Anguilla on Monday at some point. Where are you located? What is the exact location for my captain? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? I have another couple, Michael and Marcy Lerman, with me on the boat, and each of us has 4 children. 2 16s, 2 14s, a 13, a 12, and 11, and
what the actual? What? I'm confused. Why do the ages matter here?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Please tell me, Rex.
Now, well, you know, I don't know, different size coffins to put them in.
So you tell me, guys. You tell me. 2005, this man literally sits across from you and your wife, tells you this whole scenario, and he says, look, I do this to little girls, you with it or not? And they're like, we're not with it. We walked out. And then you're telling me you just suddenly had amnesia,
right?
And that you just happened to go and interact with him in 2012. By the way, they're not showing all the emails that are happening prior to this.
Yes.
Guarantee you this man was in the equation when he first had that conversation with him. He's like, we want in. We want in.
Yeah, where do we sign up? That's exactly.
I'm here to date your 6-year-old.
Yeah, that's the doorbell.
I'm here to date your 6-year-old.
That's the doorbell. That's the dinner bell that rings.
That's the dinner bell that rings every time that man is in the room.
And it's really gross. And like I have like 3 younger sisters, and I know you have sisters.
I've got
as well.
nephews, nieces. I got them all.
Like it's so dark to think about. But like these people, they want to disavow. They want to come out and talk tough. Now you weren't talking tough then. You were still. It's like, oh, like this guy's a creep. We're gonna move. It's like, no, we're gonna live here.
And you know what? Howard Lutnick. He's a major Trump donor, man. He owns
What a Rumble.
He's been significant Republican donor, consistent financial supporter for Trump. You know, their relationship isn't distant, right? I mean, they've been together in New York and through real estate, finance, all those different things. Was that the only one on him? Yeah, that was the same. That's the same thing, right? All right.
We could go to the torture video. Maybe talk about that. You want to talk about Kevin?
We'll talk about Kevin real quick. Let's see what we have. Yeah, because Kevin Warsh is. Do you know who this guy is?
No, fill me in.
Okay, Kevin Warsh is the guy that is supposed to replace Jerome Powell as the Fed chair.
Oh, okay.
Guys, it's a party. It's a pizza party. All your friends are invited. You did something, you get rewarded with power. Okay.
Right.
So here it's not going to be very clear how many people. This is here. Just send the list. I send to Harvey. How many people are with you tomorrow? Do you know blank? Steve Cohen next door. Blank just met. him and Larry Go next to the Isle de France. Keep me posted. And it says, please look this over. I think Roman's boat bigger than Ron Perlman's. Here's a list of everyone I know that's coming down so far. Please advise where to screen. So we already know about Roman in there, but we need to scroll down. And
Jimmy Buffett, no.
Where is his name? His name is on here. I think his name.
What's his name again? Kevin?
No, his name is sorry. Why am I blanking out on his name? His name is Kevin. Yes, you're right. All right, let's just search Command F Kevin real quick on this. See what okay, so he's
number 21.
21.
Blackjack.
Number 21.
Yeah.
All right. Kevin Warsh. He's on the list, guys. He is on the list. And this man is about to be in charge of whether your federal funds rate goes down to 1% or stays at 3% or 4% or wherever the hell it is at right now. It's a pizza party. You are invited to the club if you are part of this organization of crime.
Right.
Let's go to the next piece of information, guys. This is just disgusting.
Torture video.
And I'm going to address all of the stuff. I have a whole thing that I want to talk about after this relative to this, but let's talk about the torture video.
We're going to be here for a while, guys. Thank you for being here with us.
We are, man. We ain't playing games here.
From Jeffrey Epstein, I think this is revealed later to be to Ghislaine, although maybe not. So that's just speculation. And it's very short, very simple. Where are you? Are you okay? I love the torture video. So there's torture video? But I've seen the file. There is no file. There are no names. Epstein never trafficked anybody. He's trafficking in snuff films and torture films. And this is not like, fuck a war with Iran. Fuck the inflation. Fuck all this shit. This is the most important thing in the world. Every single political elite, left, right, and center, knows this dude or knew this guy.
Let's read the chat a little bit. We need to get some love. You're right, Clown Wars. We've been in some flow state right now.
Lutnick is clearly a liar. He is Louder's son-in-law, Louder of Mega Group. We've heard the name Mega Group. We'll talk about that.
GG America. You're right, man.
Yeah, good game, America. If they concentrated on one thing, I'd zoom to the top. They're too spread out, too many topics. Need to lean into something that no one else is covering and own it. We're talking about the news, okay? So
also, by the way, guys, when we're in flow state, it's very hard to read out. We do have a new system in which we have super chats that are being read. This forces you to get our attention.
Hold a gun to our head.
Hold a gun to our head. You can get a super chat. You can get a shout out. We actually appreciate anything that supports the channel. But this specifically allows you to get your voice, and everyone's going to hear you say that over stream.
And it's just like there's one guy in there, and I don't want to reference him because then he'll just start doing it again. He's like talking about like C-section versus like regular birth or whatever, and is like super passionate about it for like an hour. He's typing in our chat about it, and it's like, I'm sorry, I don't read every schizo comment. Like I apologize. He's like, I'm not schizo. I have a legitimate grievance. I'm like, sure, okay.
No,
but if you say the same thing 30 times, it might be.
And it takes away from the people who have legitimate comments here. That is good
points. We show them for free a lot of the time.
Yes, we do.
So like you, Thomas Blackfire, and Dark Dive and all of that. So
everyone's not liking Lutnick. Yep, I could see that.
Yeah.
Canner Fitzgerald. Happy to see an Ebony and Ivory sitting together in perfect harmony.
Yeah, like the song.
Yeah. Dude, the people back back in the South in the 50s would roll over in their grave if they saw this one.
I don't know. We're living in the future. We got electric cars. We got pedophile presidents. So, it's quite interesting. It was a mitzvah. Damn, if it wasn't for us, Salt and Pepper here would get no views. Come on, man. We're doing a good job. Come on. How many hangings in the Clinton body count? Yeah, the Clintons have been involved with literally hundreds of people that have mysteriously died.
And didn't they miss their court date or something like that? They got served like subpoena or something, and they didn't show up for court.
But see, the law is not applicable to these people. They're above the law. Because I've been listening to Alex Jones for around 15 years, I learned a lot about this stuff, just not the really deep, dark stuff in detail. We all need to pray daily. It's a spiritual battle. Totally agree. It's really dark. And like, we haven't even gotten to like the real dark stuff yet. But go ahead. Like, Satan has a special place for the elites. And YouTube is not letting you super chat.
No, so it's so weird how it works. That's why we're trying to bring it all together on the StreamYard. But if you do want to super chat, you go to this link. Very easy. Streamlabs.com/grayareatalks. Super easy. It says PayPal on there, but you actually use your normal card. Like, it's just the processor itself. Super easy. If If you want to have super chats, you want to support the channel, we really appreciate it, but it's not necessary. But we really do appreciate anything because it goes back into the show.
Don't let me forget there's an alternate solution that I was thinking about to this problem, and we can talk about this after the show. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into the next, juicy tidbit.
There's another one on torture here. Let's pull this up. I'm not a robot. I'm very much so human. Okay.
Oh.
Andrew, I've highlighted it here. Second one on that torture.
It's always gross. I'll go ahead and read it this time. My turn. We'll scroll down to the bottom because it's like Chinese.
Oh yeah, you have to start backwards.
Yeah.
Right.
What would you like me to do with your friend from Jeffrey Epstein to blank? Do you want me to try to do her or just to torture her? I mean, wait. All right. So the guy responds that a part of the name is not blocked out for some reason. I don't even get this anymore.
This guy, I'm gonna quickly Google him. He's like some banker guy, I believe. I'm gonna keep going, and I'll dig
for sure.
up who
He says hit
is.
on her, and he says, "Do you want me to try to do her or just torture her?" Okay. She wrote me on BlackBerry Messenger that you were very nice and clever, and sent a smiley face. She has excellent oral skills. And then Jeffrey Epstein says, "Oh, understood. Thanks." Okay. Do you want me to try to do her or just torture her? Normal people don't talk to other people this way.
Up for you.
Normal people don't behave this way. Like talking to your fellow billionaire or multi-millionaire buddy about like the manner of which you're going to have sex or torture this prostitute or this whoever, this mysterious entity they're talking about. Like even if you're doing this type of stuff, like imagine like the sick community that's built where like, yeah, I'll call my buddy Bill, I raped that girl last week and, and maybe I should go do it again. And it's like what goes through your mind? And what I think goes through your mind is that you cannot be touched, right? Because there's nothing they're going to do to you ever because you run the planet.
Yeah.
Right. And isn't that pretty?
Even after we report this stuff, no one's going to get arrested.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll explode later, but I want to get through all this
for
content.
sure.
So it says this guy, Salvatore, blah, 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 Italian guy, Italian stallion.
Tancredi Salvatore Marcholio.
All right. He's a hedge fund executive and business partner at Bemner Capital LLP with a background in finance, including roles in EIM Group. He is referenced in the unsealed Jeffrey Epstein files. Basically, all you need to know about this guy, he's a rich dude.
And Epstein's talking to him about torture.
Hedge fund, rich dude, executive. Makes millions of dollars. He's part of the club. That's the gist of who he is. And you know what's crazy? This guy's probably got a wife and kids and goes home and kisses them every night.
Kind of like Mr. Gates, except when he gives you a hug and a kiss, he might give you something.
Give you something. You're right.
Isn't it crazy that Bill Gates is like a dirty, like STD riddled gremlin creature? I mean, we always knew he was gremlin, but STD.
Yeah. So who else we got here? Man, it's just everyone. No one's safe tonight.
Go up to some of my stuff.
Yeah. We got you.
Because I got some
Prince Andrews.
Well,
you want to do that or no?
Yeah, let's go to Prince Andrew.
All right, Andrew, pull up Prince Andrew. First one on this list here.
And Andrew lives matter. Not all Andrews are, Prince Andrew. Shout out to Andrew in the booth.
Shout out to the
laying
real
down
Andrew.
The law.
Yeah, not the weird Andrew. The real
exactly.
Andrew. All right. So do you want to read this?
Yeah, let's get the first and second one prepared because the second one goes hand in hand with it, and it's good as well. Alarm, Epstein Files, the biggest stain on the British royal family ever. The newly released photos have ripped off the mask of lies from the dark face of the royal family. I like when something's written a little bad because it's written real. Someone real wrote this. In these pictures, Prince Andrew can be seen leaning on a girl. The girl is lying on the floor. Her face is in the frame. In some photos, he is seen touching the girl, and there is another person with them. In the Jeffrey Epstein case, Prince Andrew was accused of forcing sexual relations on 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre, after which all his royal titles were stripped away. But the truth is that powerful people always manage to escape the truth. Now the photos that have been released are exposing disgusting secrets. Look at that.
This is disgusting.
That's it's a demon.
This stuff makes me so angry. I try to be so light about it, but like this stuff makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. He thinks this is fun. He thinks this is a fucking game.
He thinks that he's entitled to do it, that he's God and he's in charge, and the rules don't apply to this guy because he's a royal. Well, how'd that work out for you, buddy? You got that title taken away from you pretty quick.
What's this order confirmation, you sick fuck?
It's some mysterious thing. It's probably code. It's like when Walter White has to disappear, he calls the vacuum guy. That's exactly what this makes me think of. Like, who knows what this actually means? Like, he's ordering hydrotone water weight bills. Let's go to the because it's serious. Let's go ahead and look at the photos.
You want to see the photos again?
Let's go ahead and just look at it.
All right.
This is what we're dealing with here.
This is what we're dealing with.
Look at this guy.
Which one are we? This last one. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, like,
who's the person with their legs
that's Epstein, bro.
kicked up?
That's got to be Epstein.
Fucking dogs out chilling while there's a literal 17-year-old girl on the ground.
That's Epstein. And look, they got the American flag.
It is an American flag tablecloth.
It's everything.
This
bro.
is your country, America. This is our country.
Wow.
This is exactly who runs the country.
That's right.
Please click it over to me because now I'm about to say something I want to be able to say it in full length without being interrupted here. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. There is a pattern to the men that are on these files and the way that they look. I'm sorry if you are the white man, but these are the same people who are in the same cloth. I haven't seen a single Asian guy on here. I haven't seen it. And I'm not trying to make this a race thing.
Go ahead.
But there is a white Anglo-Saxon man, somebody who's British, doesn't matter. And they're all part of the same party doing the same thing. I don't see a black man on there. I don't see an Asian man on there. I don't see a Muslim on there doing this type of stuff. Maybe there could be those types of people in there. But in general, these are the men that are the focal point. But do you know what America's arguing over right now? We're arguing over ICE.
Right.
We're arguing over H-1Bs. And you know what? People are going to hate me and say, if I had the choice and I had a choice to make between taking 1,000 Indians versus a handful of these dipshits that are in here doing terrible stuff, give me the 1,000 Indians. Fuck it. At least they're doing something positive compared to what they're doing. And these guys have real power.
I mean, fuck even bringing people over. These are the people that are in charge.
These are the people that are in charge, and they laugh at in our faces while we're sitting here on the streets arguing over stupid shit. We're sending bombs, almost done. We're sending bombs. We're bombing children. We're doing all these things. And guess who is making money off of every single one of these instances? The same Bob the Builder looking dude who has no interest in seeing anything happen positive in society. You're talking about the richest people in the world. Bill Gates. Bill Gates is talking about we're changing society. We're making society better by building toilets in Africa. But you know what I'm doing behind the scenes? You don't know what I'm doing. I'm giving STDs to my wife because I'm out here doing things with a minor that I shouldn't be doing in the first place. Right. But you should praise me for the good things that I'm doing.
Right. I think that's totally valid. We're going to go to the second Andrew thing now, but I want you to go ahead, Andrew, and not Prince Andrew, the real Andrew.
Look, I know people are saying, what about Diddy? What about Jackson? All those things. Look, those people don't even have the ounce of power that these guys do. I just want to make that clear.
I'm about to go a step further. Go ahead and pull up the Goyim, the thing titled Goyim.
I'm talking about the super elite, the ones that actually make decisions. Oprah don't do shit. Jay-Z doesn't do shit. He has stuff that he does when it comes to the music industry. Diddy makes these guys look like they're in the like Diddy is in the minor leagues. These guys are in the major leagues. They just don't have a bunch of cameras in front of their faces all the time.
Well, and someone in the chat says, show Trump. You haven't been watching the whole stream. If you want to see that, you can go back like 30, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. I think we've been talking a while.
And I'm so sick of it. They make it seem like there's a war and like we've got to go get all the Somalians out and the 300 billion. Fine, whatever. You guys want to focus on that. But what about all the money you stole and then all the stuff that you're doing behind scenes
the
in which
the government? Yes,
100%. And we don't talk enough about this because they don't want you to talk about it. They want you to go and see the war videos. They want you to go and watch all the media that shows all this chaos while the real stuff is happening in rooms that you and I are not part of.
Right. Right.
How long did we, between the first time the Epstein Files were released to now, there were so many things that happened in between that we even stopped talking about it.
Right.
And it's sad because even after that, not a single one of these motherfuckers are going to go to jail. Not a single one.
Right. Go ahead and go to the Asmongold Goyim clip. Because I want to play this because Epstein talked in a very derogatory and racial way against people that were not Jewish. And, you know, like there are a lot of instances of this. Go ahead and play it.
Oh, here we go. Goyim were born to only serve us, he said in a 2010 sermon. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. Guys, this is insane. Oh, here we go.
That's all we got. And there's a lot more of it. There's a lot of him talking to other people that are very rich
I'll
and
show you
acting like Goyim. Using it as a slur, kind of an N-word.
People will call me a Zionist if I don't cover this one, so I'll just pull up the one with Mossad. The only reason why I don't like talking about these things because they're like overly talked about sometimes, and there's more important things to talk about. But this is part of the Epstein Files. Let's go down to the Mossad thing with the question mark. Let's just go through this PDF real quick, and I'll highlight a couple of things where
Mossad question mark.
Yeah, where they talk about potentially. There's a
age verification every single time. Epstein didn't make anyone do age verification.
Yeah,
little
sick joke. Yeah, so they had a confidential human source, which these guys are basically like people that
serious informant.
Serious informant. Sometimes they tell the truth, sometimes they don't. We're going to assume that this person is telling the truth. If we scroll down to, let me see. I made a note about it.
I saw it.
I have it. Jeffrey Epstein was presented by Dershowitz.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Jeffrey
Third
Epstein was represented by Dershowitz. That's Alan Dershowitz. CHS, confidential human source. Remembered, my butt. I got to sit up. I got to remember to sit correctly. CHS remembered Dershowitz to tell Alex Acosta, U.S. Attorney of Southern District of Florida at the time, that Epstein belonged to both U.S. and allied intelligence services. CHS shared phone calls between Dershowitz and Epstein, during which time she took notes. After these calls, Mossad would then call Dershowitz to debrief. Epstein was close to the former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak. He's in the files and is trained as a spy under him. Barak believed Netanyahu was a criminal. Saudi Arabia, Israel, the United Arab Emirates are allied against Qatar, Turkey, Iran, and Syria. That's true. One of the CHS's blanks, who presumably worked blank, asked CHS a lot of questions about Epstein. CHS became convinced that Epstein was a co-opted Mossad agent. Masha Drovka, telephone number blank, is based in Silicon Valley. She ran a firm, One Ventures, supposedly early stage investment company. She used to be President Putin's main contact in the Russian youth movement. Confidential human source, and Drovka spoke, but Drovka did not talk to her at all about technology. Instead, she looked at CHS and said, "You knew Epstein, didn't you?" Uh-oh. Like that's like knowing Voldemort or something. She said Epstein was a wonderful man. It was a crying shame what had been done to him. CHS concluded Day One Ventures was in Silicon Valley.
Here's the real one that you should read. Go down to Harry, whatever
Harry
his guy
Tanoas bin Bojo has been involved, has developed Trump's hotels and is a billionaire. Harry Blank introduced him to the Indonesian CIA Blank. Harry Blank speaks Indonesian. Harry bought his Beverly Hills home from Trump at an inflated price. Blank was at Harry's house when Harry Blank, that Trump told him that he was going to F Amazon over their military contracts. CHS, I say it all the time. I don't know why I blanked that. CHS advised that this was a real collusion story. Trump has been compromised by Israel, and Kushner's real brains behind his organization and his presidency.
That's as much as we need to read there.
Okay, some more context.
That makes it clear. And then I'll tell you who this Harry guy is. We'll just quickly pull up his name.
But your point, and I think the main thing is it's just like white presenting, whatever you want to call it. It is all like these old like fat lizard people, right? And they do tend to be like European or Eastern European or Anglo or whatever.
And it doesn't mean, Rex, that and cut back to us for real quick.
Right.
I want everybody who's watching here. It doesn't mean that I'm sitting here being like the black guy out here, like white shaming and being like, you know what? You white people are terrible.
It is a reasonable point to make.
It's not
they all look the same.
But the whole point is they are cut from the same cloth, and what they want is for everybody to be fighting over these other topics,
right?
Instead of implicating the group that's actually doing it.
I mean, like these people should be in fucking prison,
right?
It's
So while you're talking about Pablo needs to get deported over here, right? We should be deporting some of our people that are in power.
He's eating baby back ribs on the island,
right?
Yeah,
he's out here mowing my lawn for $50 on the an hour, and we're like, whatever, fine. What, you know, you can have your opinion about that, but what about the guy who made like $50 million through trafficking and doing all these different things? It's all one big like matrix, man. This is not even real life.
And then people are like, we're going to fix the system by addressing this symptom of the disease. Like America's like riddled with cancer and like worms and like viruses and all this. And they're like, we're going to cure one of the flu viruses that the person has as they're dying of like brain tumors. And it's like, well, the person's dying of brain tumor. Wouldn't you want to do the chemotherapy and get rid of the brain tumor? No. It's the hangnail. That's the problem. That's the real issue. Beyond anything else, and I say beyond anything else because this is even more bipartisan than being anti-war. We are anti this. This is not okay. This is not allowed. These people should not be allowed to walk the streets of our country. There is no statute of limitations on child rape.
So let me tell you, there's somebody who's just like, oh, this has nothing to do with illegal deportation. It's an example of all the things and the systemic problems we're having, right? I'm giving you an example of all the distractions and things that are happening. If a guy like Prince Andrews can stare, look over this 17-year-old,
right,
as well as all these other people who have committed these heinous things, what else are they doing that they are not telling us about? Just sit with that for a second. What else? What decisions are they making on the behalf of the American person? The American people, you and I, Rex, as citizens, we give them the delegation to make decisions for us as a republic. What else are they doing that they are not telling you? If they're as sick and sadistic in order to actually do things to these minors, best believe they could sell out anything about our country and not in your best interest.
100%.
And that is the real stuff that actually leads to the problems that you're having and why you can't get a job and why you have massive inflation because they let these Wall Street hedge guys make risky bets in the market and they bail them out, right? Like there's things as there's too big to fail bank. So we'll make sure we'll protect the bank because you know what? It's one big club. It's one big, massive
and thank
club.
God you were not in it, right? And like, thank God. Ultimately, it's like Kanye said, like, why would you go to that island? Why would you go to that island? And it's true. Like, why the fuck would you go to that island? And the reason is they feel like they're invincible. They're like, we're on top of the world. We run the system. It's all, like you say, the big club, but it's the big club to the extent where let's go ahead. I want to show this now. And this speaks to how sick it all is, right? And we talked about John Podesta and Podesta's brother. I'm going to find it really quick. Evil artwork. It's right under Epstein-Zelensky relationship. We got to look at the evil. This is hanging in John Podesta's brother's home. He's implicated in all these things. Let's go ahead and click on evil artwork. It's real dark stuff here.
Really dark stuff.
I mean, like, what's that, guys? What's that? So John Podesta's brother, he owns this artwork. This is the culture. This is the culture of Epstein. This is the culture of the evil intelligence agencies that use this type of compromise to control people. This is sickening, guys. Like, that makes you mad, doesn't it?
And look, I'm not sitting here trying to debate the audience here. I just have one more thing that I have to say about it.
Get it off the screen. No, get it off the screen.
What?
The thing below is like beyond anything. We don't need to see that. Good save by Andrew.
Oh, is this?
We don't need to look.
Oh, yeah, we don't need to be looking at that.
Let's not look at.
All right.
They got photos of kids like holding like their posterior region, and there's like fluid there.
Right.
It's beyond anything.
So I have to address this. It's like somebody's like, oh, well, they could flood the country with tens of millions of illegals. Okay. There's major problems and there's minor problems. That's big compared to some people. But if you look at the scale of what actually moves the needle in society, I would guarantee you, and I'll go on a limb and say probabilistically, 50 of the richest, most powerful men doing these heinous things, making decisions for the rest of the world is a bigger problem than 10 million illegals that may or may not commit a couple of crimes here and there, or take a specific job here or there that people want or don't want. Like, I want you to understand there are monetary decisions that are being made at a macro level that decide whether or not you can put food on your table, and that has nothing to do with illegal immigration. It has nothing to do with Somalis. It has nothing to do with the white-black dichotomy and who's the white man is evil and all those things. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's these small groups of people making big decisions on where the money flows. And these people call themselves Christians. And they call themselves Christians.
Yes.
They literally go on air and they say, I am a man. This is on the word of God. On the word of God, they're like, and you know what? What would Jesus do? You think Jesus is doing this stuff, guys? You think you can just take the Lord's name in vain and just go out there and just be like,
if anyone hurts the little ones that believe in me or causes them to stumble, it would be better for them that a millstone be tied around their neck and be dropped into the deepest ocean. That's what Jesus has to say about people that do this.
So you know what this does, man? It stains an entire religion, and then we sit here and like we're critical of all these other people.
Not even religion. I'd say just the country. The country is stained, and ultimately, you talk about these things. Ultimately, whatever we believe on immigration or any of these policies, monetary policy, fiscal policy, military policy, it's all downstream of these people being kid grapers, man. And like that's it. We need. If we had a serious country, or screw that. If we had a serious electorate, these people would be gone, but we don't. So like that's why we do the show. It's why we do Gray Area, is to really like this is not normal. Like let's live in a normal world where we're not on the sports team. We're not fighting about stuff. Let's get rid of these people. Let's get them out of office. And put them in a jail.
It's so frustrating because like I had an epiphany while reading all this. Like, guys, if you're not sweating and you're not feeling the heaviness of the weight while you're reading some of these allegations, you might be listening to us talk about it. Spend some time going through the files, right? Going through the files. All you need to understand is it's not necessarily just the act. It shows the thought process of these people. That is the thing that you need to focus on. What goes through the mind of a person that is willing to commit these acts, and what will they not, won't, sorry, I'm tying up my words.
You're okay.
What will they not do to protect their own interest and to sell the American people out? That is the bigger level argument, while we're all sitting here like little ants arguing over these small little topics.
100%. I gotta get it off the screen. It's just it's so much, and like we really are, Tim especially, me too, for this, because I watch coverage of this all day. It's hard to do, you know, and it's hard to admit this and grapple with it and realize that our country is run by these people. And like it's much easier to just be like, I support Trump, or like evil MAGA, blah blah blah. It's a lot easier to do that and be like, hey, like, what's the process look like of beginning to get rid of these people and put them in jail, ultimately try them for treason and hang them like we should? And like, that's not a radical thing to say. It's not a radical thing to say we should hang these people, right? It's like, that's inflammatory language. That's these people committed the worst crimes imaginable, much worse than regular rape or murder, doing it to kids, systemically trafficking them, building an entire system around it, a party scene around the grape and ritualistic slaughter of children. So to say that they should be tried, convicted, and executed is not a radical position. It's the least radical one. It's the most reasonable thing you could say.
Do you know what the worst part?
Have these people.
But you know the worst part is you'll get censored for saying these.
I know.
And you'll have the FBI sitting here listening to our feed right now. And be like, you're inciting violence, young man. And you know what's crazy, Rex? If we were talking to like 10 to 100 million people right now, you know what they would be doing right now? Trying to kill us.
Right. That's true.
Simple as that, because it does not fit the narrative.
No,
this is what happens, right?
100%.
And we haven't even made this like a bipartisan issue in terms of saying this is the left and right. Like, I want to go back to the gaslighting. I want to pull
Todd
up
Blanche, don't you?
Yeah. Do I have Todd Blanche?
I'm trying to mess
well,
with
yes, I do have Todd Blanche on here, but I want to go to Pam Bondi. She's literally the one we are supposed to trust on having these files, right? You know,
right.
So let's play this clip. Let's get gaslit a little bit, guys. All right.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tim.
Not yet. Not yet. I guarantee you get through like the first 10 files and there's some evil stuff on there.
Right. Well, she's looking at stuff unredacted, and she's so compartmentalized. She goes, "This is not a big deal. This is nothing." Implicated everyone that she works for, and she just turns it over. And then you go on Fox News, you have this like manicured performance with a guy that looks like a lab rat.
She's sitting here smiling.
Like Barbie.
I am smarter than you. I'm going to smile and say that I haven't seen anything. It's a genjutsu. Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, pull up the other clip, Andrew. This stuff makes me so frustrated. It hurts, man. It hurts.
I know it's bad to feed people in chat. Stefan, just go watch something else if you hate it so much, dude. I mean, like they got Samurai Jack full episodes on YouTube. You could go watch those. Those are really fun. I highly recommend. So just go do something else if you want to. Just like you've been ranting and raving all night. We have a nice community here. I know I've just made you type 1,000 more sentences, but whatever. Let's go ahead and go to the second clip.
February, you made a public claim that the Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now for review. End of quote. You then produce already public information and no client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files. And I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, our July 6th memo.
Going back to the Epstein files, according to another.
So we got someone saying that was a year ago. She said she had misunderstood what she was expected to do with the files and list. It's not a year ago in the sense that it's like 2 years almost. It's barely a year. It's barely a year, and she's lying.
She's lying.
She's
got a gun to the back of her head.
Not even.
You think she's complicit in this?
They love it, bro. They love.
I'll be honest. I'll go on a limb and say that she doesn't necessarily support this stuff, but she's definitely part of the system in which she has a job, and there's infinite number of things they can do to people to keep them under control. You got to be a good boy if you want any semblance of power. And some people just sell their souls. She sold her soul, in my opinion. I think she sold her soul.
All right.
Keep going, Andrew.
Whistleblower who made a protected disclosure to my office. You pushed the FBI to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records on an.
I'm sorry to pause immediately. Look at the fake body language. I've always been able to call this out about people. You see how she's like brushing herself and like, oh, I take a note here. I'm manicuring, blah, blah, blah. It's the self-soothing behavior. She's in the hot seat. That's what that represents. Sorry to pause.
She's nervous.
But go ahead.
Keep going.
Go ahead.
Arbitrarily short deadline in March, and the FBI was directed to flag any documents that mentioned President Trump. Nothing came of that review until July when DOJ and FBI released an unsigned memo stating, quote, there's no incriminating client list. Why was the July 7th memo unsigned?
The July 7th memo came from the FBI and the Department of Justice. Director Patel answered those questions very clear. And, Senator Durbin, I find it very interesting that you refused repeated Republican requests to release the Epstein flight logs in 2023 and 2024. You fought that. Did you take money from Reid Hoffman, campaign donations, who was a huge Epstein friend?
Was it?
Why did you fight?
Gaslighting.
Okay, so it's a big deal that you took money or knew Epstein's friend or whatever, but Epstein never trafficked anybody and didn't exist and there is no file. You have to pick one. You see what I'm saying? You can't be like, oh, but what about you being bad?
This 101 on psychology. The moment somebody is feeling attacked and they start attacking back, there's a projection, and she knows what she's trying to do. She's trying to lead the conversation otherwise, so that way she's not being implicated. And it's uncomfortable right now, the situation. She's got millions of people watching her on camera, and she's like, oh, God. All right, gaslight him.
You were bad too. You knew the guy. And it's like, well, like, what does that have to do with anything? So that means
it's like, you killed this guy. Well, you know, what happened when you went into the store the other day and did X, Y, and Z? Well, we're talking about what you did.
Exactly.
Not what I did here.
Exactly. It's the classic 2 wrongs don't make a right. Right? Like that's not like whataboutism is never cool. But
100%.
I mean, it's crazy. Do we have more?
Yeah, there's a little more on that.
For years, why did you fight to not disclose the flight logs, Senator Durbin?
I can tell you I did not refuse. One of the senators here wished to produce those logs, and I asked her to put it in writing, and she never did.
Yeah, I think Senator Blackburn would quarrel with you on that.
Well, I will quarrel with you as to Reed, somebody that you mentioned I never heard of.
Reed Hoffman.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to.
She doesn't know what to do. She's panicking.
Yeah, she's patronizing. She's been like, that's outrageous that you'd even ask me a question like that. I mean, this is the textbook liar. 100%.
Here's the thing: when somebody's telling the truth and they can stick behind what they're saying, it's very easy for them to like flow in conversation. But you're seeing her freeze.
Right.
She's like, I got to think about this because if I don't say this right, I'm going to get in trouble.
If you're angry and you're telling the truth, you're very emotional and expressive and be like, no, like this is BS, XYZ. This is why I believe what I believe. When someone goes, you even asked me that? That's crazy. What about you? Like, aren't you the problem? Aren't you the issue? That's not addressing what we fucking asked. Okay. Right. It's deflection and projection. And we see that a lot with narcissists, antisocial personality disorder, those types of people. I'm just an autist, so I can't relate. But some of these people, that's just how they operate, man. That's their entire life is manipulation.
This one, what is this one?
Mark Levin commands you to. He's talking to the Speaker of the House too, so it's an important clip.
Okay, let's go to number 5 here.
We got Mark Levin commanding you. You will not question Epstein. You will let this dog lie. And here we're going to go ahead.
I've got it highlighted there.
Awesome.
We can't waste our time on Epstein and other stuff that are going on here that some people want us to focus on. I'm about had it with all that stuff. We better focus on who we are, what we're doing, where we want to take.
We're not going to focus on Epstein and all that stuff. And the Speaker of the House nods like a seal and approval. Like, yeah, we're not going to talk about Epstein. But he's like, the real reason why he wants to stop talking about Epstein is he wants to go to war. So it's even worse. Not only does he not want to talk about it, he doesn't want to talk about it because he wants you to focus on why we should bomb people, Tim.
Yeah, didn't he say, like, I want Gaza leveled and then, like, basically replaced with all these
something like that. I'm sure you could ad lib it in there. Let's play.
No, he explicitly said something like that. I was shocked. You showed me the video.
Yeah.
Take the country and what they want to do to the country. Mr. Speaker, God bless you, my friend. I appreciate you very, very much.
You too, Mark. Thanks for all you do. God bless.
We can't waste our time.
Two world-class pieces of shit. Like A1 S tier pieces of,
and then
of dog
the last one we'll show of us getting gaslit will be Trump here on this.
Well, what is the fight? I don't know what the fight is. What are you talking about? People,
I don't know what you're talking about. It's just the Dems. There's no Republicans. It's just
it's
Dems.
a Democrat hoax. Yeah.
Go ahead.
House Republicans to vote in favor of this Epstein release bill. They're going to vote tomorrow. I just want to be super clear on your position. Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to say, here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reed Hoffman.
Trump was a Democrat.
He was. Actually, that's so right. You're actually so
man.
right. I had amnesia for a second. I forgot he actually was a Democrat.
We're out here smoking crack. You want some, Tim? I mean, come on, man. Let's play the rest of it.
Go ahead.
Look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton. They went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want is for people to recognize a great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower.
It's the same with Pam Bondi, but it's even worse. It's not even a reference to someone else being like, what about it? He goes, the gas prices are, the egg is cheaper now. You go to the grocery store, you buy a carton of eggs, it's cheaper. I did that, me. And it's like, we're not talking about the economy. We're talking about the Grape Island. Okay? And it's reasonable to ask about the fucking Grape Island, dude.
It is.
Go ahead.
On energy, on ending 8 wars and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. We've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. Unfortunately, like with the Kennedy situation, with the Martin Luther King situation, not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. With Kennedy, we gave everything, and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything, and it's never enough. We've already given, I believe the number is...
So we gave enough, but then we just came out with 3 million files as of like, what? Yesterday, a couple days ago. We've given so much. 3 million, that's not a lot, Rex. Come on. That's not a lot. Keep going.
It's nothing.
Keep going. That's nothing, right?
50,000 pages. 50,000 pages. And it's just a Russia hoax as it pertains to the Republicans. Now, I believe that some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein. But they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens. What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party, including...
We got a great chat from Rusty. Rusty says 50,000 out of 6 million is equal to 0.8%.
What does that mean?
Well, 50,000 documents. We released them all. We released 50,000 documents, and there's 6 million documents. Less than 1%.
It's less than 1%.
It's an excellent point.
Excellent point.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just... It's the deflection. It's the minimizing of it. He goes, the Martin Luther King and the JFK and the Epstein is not as serious as that. Not as serious as that. I would say it's more serious. You're talking about 2 people being killed versus, hundreds of children, the dozens of the world's most powerful elites, princes, presidents, everyone.
Right. And I see somebody like, why are we talking about these things? Why are we talking about the Epstein files? Why are they important? Because when I play you this video, how many people remember this video? We get amnesia and we forget about the fact that these conversations happen. And the whole point of showing you is you can see how clearly people can lie to you in plain sight. You have to be clear about what's happening here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just like we just received the highest compliment we can achieve because it shows that we're fair and balanced and unbiased here. Eddie from Kick, you two have Trump derangement syndrome, LMAO. Let's get that on screen.
What does that mean? Yeah.
So
what is that? No, I know it's Trump derangement.
we both voted for him. I voted for him twice. I thought he was the greatest thing.
We won't even pull him up.
Yeah. We thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then you look at the past year, this administration's been hell.
No. But here's the thing, Rex.
Wow. And the brand loyalty is freaking crazy.
That's what I'm saying. This is how most shows go on to sell their souls, because literally, what is his name? Stein came on here and he said, Tim doesn't report on certain, not me, the big Tim Cass, Tim Pool doesn't report on things anymore because he's now leaned more towards the side and is no longer moderate in what he talks about. And he didn't say he sold his soul, but he basically was like, he's not the same Tim anymore. Right. And so for us to sit here and not dude, it's because it's currently happening. We also cover things that happened when the Biden administration was in power. Like, I'm about to do a whole deep dive on COVID and call out the Biden administration. Just because you haven't seen the other episodes doesn't mean we're not airing everybody's bullshit out.
Right. It's equal opportunity. That's number one. Number two, it's just like Trump derangement syndrome. Man, if you're on the sports team, if you bought the jersey, if you're going to the sports games, if you're clapping for the players on the team, that's Maybe Benny Johnson is more your speed. Maybe Gunther Eagleman, perhaps. Maybe Tim Pool. Like, we don't do that here.
Yeah, we're not defending the wrong people.
We're not defending anybody.
Care. Anyone can get the smoke on this show.
Anyone can get roasted.
Anyone can get the smoke on the show. I don't care if you're right, left, you're a grandpa, you're a young 20-year-old whippersnapper, you're black, white,
old,
Asian,
whatever.
Muslim. I don't give. If you do something wrong, law and rules and regulations and what's true and what's right from wrong does not discriminate against any of those things. If you did something bad, you did something bad, and you're going on our show and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we literally just talked about everyone. We talked about Epstein himself. We talked about Larry Summers. We talked about Prince Andrew. We talked about Elon Musk. Talked about Podesta. Haven't talked about Bill Clinton yet or Bush, but they're both in the files as well. Everyone's in the files, man. There's no island you can go to. Everyone's underwater.
And the reason why we have to talk about it is because a lot of the time we make these people our God. We think they're like the grown-ups in the room.
Heroes.
We think they're the heroes. And like I used to think very highly of Bill Gates, by the way. Like I saw everything he was doing in Africa with those toilets and all the money that he was donating. And I think part of that comes from his guilty conscience of knowing what he did when he was bored.
It's also he sees Africa as his playground. He's like, oh, I'm going to reduce the population. And it's like, wow, so you want to give vaccines to help people? I want to give people vaccines to reduce the population.
And if you guys want to know something even more, I need to start telling people more stuff that happens behind scenes, because I'm part of conversations in rooms and talk to specific people that they tell me the truth of what's going on behind scenes.
Right.
The whole idea of publicity, like when you see a good article about somebody that somebody's doing,
right.
You pay people to do that.
Yes.
You literally pay a publicist to write a good article in which you give them the headline, you give them the copy, the text that goes in between, and you say all these really good things about me. Here's $50,000.
Yes.
And they will do that.
And there's two paths to being known by the public. One is being real and being authentic and reaching out and growing an audience, a platform, a relationship, whatever you want to call it, a coalition like we're doing. The other route is just to dump money into the ecosystem and just get someone to write something. And that's how these politicians, left, right, whatever, that's how they all build their careers. That's how they all do it.
And as long as there's any hint of this may or may not be true, none of them are going to go to jail. We're going to sit here. We can have debates with people, and people are like, well, you don't know for a fact that it happened. And it allows the behavior to go unchecked.
Right. And Eddie, I understand he's your hero. You want to believe that he's sanctified and pure regardless of whatever situation. Let's say he's 100% innocent. He's covering up for PDF files that grape children.
Who do you think Epstein's boss was? You know who I think his boss was?
I think he worked for the Mossad. I think he worked for.
I think it's a conglomerate of people. I think it's
for sure.
I think it's more than just the governments. And
I'd agree with that as well.
I said this on a Spaces the other day. There are buckets of power, guys. Not one particular group controls everything. Just want to make this clear. There's the banking industry.
Right.
There's the military industrial complex. There's the technocrats, which are like the Elon Musk and those people. Then you have government systems and those agencies that run within those government systems. And then you have just world financiers, the economic world forms. They're all different buckets, and they also don't all agree on how the world and these governments should be run. Everyone has contentions and issues with each, and they battle for power on specific things, on what they think is the way that actually helps them and benefits them, right? So at the end of the day, all these people are all kind of part of the system. And so there's just one thing that you can all agree on.
It's literally a club.
It's a club.
This is not complicated. This is well known at this point. And even if you're not committing the acts in the club, you're protecting the club, and that is your service. That is your service to the club. Even if you are not directly involved, any backing of this at all is to be considered treasonous.
And you know what's crazy, Rex? There's a lot of stuff that a lot of these people who may not actually be implicated in these things, they can't even talk about these things.
Right.
Because you'll get kirked, man.
It's true.
You'll literally have all types of things. And if not, they'll literally dig up anything they can on you to basically silence you.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't understand power is power. And there's guys' names that we don't even know exist. That's a matter of fact, man. That's not even like superstition or anything like that. Some people are in plain sight and you wouldn't know how much they control. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Yeah,
But
well, let's protect ourselves. I love Bibi Netanyahu. I love Bibi Netanyahu. I love Trump. Trump is amazing. I love the leaders. I love people in power around the world. I love the people in the UN. I love the people in the world government. I love them. I love them. I love them. And then maybe we'll get the big show. Maybe we'll get the big promotion. We'll get the big algorithm push. If we just do that, we go Epstein file. Epstein, who even is that? Is that a burger salesman or something? And then you just pretend not to know who it is and you get the big deal. I mean, CBS, Barry Weiss. I'm sure Barry Weiss will never talk about any of this because she got 115 million, right?
100%. And you know what? I see people talking about the Jews. You get your licks in, fine, whatever. Zionism, all that stuff.
Well,
not all Jews are Zionists.
There's all kinds of racial stuff inside of the Epstein file. We read the stuff about the black people. There's stuff about the Jews and the Goyim being inferior and whatever. Epstein was a sick puppy, and we don't need to zero in on any one portion of this Hydra, this beast. We need to select the entire thing and get rid of it and get rid of every single person who was involved.
Because here's the thing, and the only reason why I call out the commentary on Israel, it's not because I'm defending them. It's because it's not necessarily like a specific demographic of like religion, and it's just power is power and whoever has it, right? Like I haven't even given you the dirt on the stuff that they do in some of these Middle Eastern countries, man. Like how they build Neom and all the people they've killed in the slave labor, that slavery's still illegal in certain parts, man.
It's almost like the world is a horrific place.
You know, like you can go to any specific area and I can show you whoever's in power and I can show you some people doing some really bad stuff. It just happens to be that we live in America. They have a lot of power here. And there's a lot of intermingling of who's coming from what country and one of those things.
There shouldn't be any ruling class, period. Can we just go ahead and say that? Hey, like maybe the public should actually control the country and control the elections. And if you say the public is in charge, like you're smoking crack on the side of the road.
Kind of aren't, man.
But like it's crazy.
They give you two options because of the fact that the primaries were decided. But then if you think about it, go to who the actual candidates that are elected for the primaries, which you vote on. Those aren't accidents. Those are people that were already in power that are part of the same system. It's not an accident. So, you know, this has been a phenomenal episode. Sorry I got off the rails there for a little bit, but my whole thing is just let's stop turning all these issues into race. Stop turning them into immigration issues when the real problem is
let's get rid of these
bad people that actually really control everything while the chaos is happening and we're all distracted.
Amen.
That is my conclusion to this entire thing. And if you don't like it, fine, go watch Candace.
Exactly.
She'll give you some Fort Huachuca Waka conspiracy theory. I don't even report on this stuff, Rex, until I have concrete evidence to be able to report on.
And you'll hear me and Tim, we disagree. We have the debates, arguments, whatever you want to call them on these issues. This is spot on. Like this is the biggest issue in the country, in the world right now. Everything else needs to be taken aside. The people that did these things, prison, sentencing, death row, death by the gallows. That's what any person that's normal and human and has a family or just like understands that we're like created in the image of God and you cannot treat people this way. You cannot do this to people, especially without their consent, especially when they're freaking children, man. These are little kids that are getting. We looked at that artwork. That artwork is disgusting.
Disgusting, man.
It is beyond disgusting. Disgusting is far too mild of a word to describe it. So
I know there's a lot of people who are probably new here. I know Jose has his audience in here.
Thank you, Jose.
We got some other people that are joining from different platforms, wherever you're finding us right now. This is just one episode. We don't talk about Epstein every
it's
show.
a new deep dive.
This is a new deep dive. This is specific. Typically on Sunday, after we have a guest, I do what is called a deep dive, in which I cover a specific either current or historical event, in which I give you the concrete things that you need to know about things that like you may have not considered. For example, Ukraine and Russia war. Sometimes we're like, well, we have all this war. Well, what caused it? Why are we in this conflict to begin with? And we go and we dig up everybody's dirty laundry. That is a recurring theme, and it has nothing to do with whether you're right or left or bipartisan. Like it's all about being accountability, no matter who it is. And so if you guys enjoyed this segment at all and you want to tune in, it says it right there. Thursday and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is where you can find us. And we cover a lot more than just this stuff.
Another thing that's key, because I've been noticing that, like, Gray Area Talks, I think we're at 1K. We're doing really good there. That really helps us get interviews and get guests and get the best people on and helps us promote the show. Let's get Tim to 1K. Go follow Truism Tim on X. If you're watching this on X right now, just go do it. Help us out with this show. Help us grow, and go to the Gray Area YouTube and Rumble and just subscribe there. Leave a comment, like the video, whatever you're going to do. Not asking you to spend any money. We got supplements at GoPrimalCore.com, but right now that's not important. What's important is understanding that we're doing this show for the long term because it matters, because we actually want to affect change with the things that we talk about. That takes time, that takes effort. More importantly, it takes people's energy. So if you choose to give us just a tiny little portion of your energy tonight by doing any one of those things, we appreciate it immensely. You're incredible if you do it. Again, follow Truism Tim on X. If you're watching this on X, it's likely you're watching it on my profile. Not even going to ask you to follow me. Just go check out Tim. He posts a lot of the Gray Area stuff, posts a lot of his own threads and important information as well. And your DMs are open. People can talk to you.
Yeah, man. I respond to everybody's DMs. I mean, everyone's super nice, welcoming. I never have any bad confrontations. And honestly, people give me suggestions on things we should cover. Hey, have you seen this? I'll be like, I haven't seen it, but I'll look into it.
Some of our best segments have been off viewer recommendation.
Our deep dives on Sunday, guys, like those things are the show to follow. And I do that based off of the fact of things that people want to know, things that affect you guys. And we're not like any of the other shows, man. I literally see so many people hop up on there and they just regurgitate what's happening in the news, and they're not doing anything outside of that. If you want something different, continue to follow our journey, because you're going to see Gray Area everywhere. I'm telling you, we're trying to start something that has nothing to do with right or left. It is about the gray area, this black and white makes we create gray. I thank you guys for every single one of you guys who tune in. Please subscribe. I really do appreciate
Let's
it.
Let's get to 1K. Let's get to 1K. Follow Truism Tim. Let's subscribe to the YouTube account. We had someone say we're right there at 1K subs on YouTube. I didn't even realize we were that close.
Are you serious?
Yeah, go check that out if you would. That's a really big deal, and we really care about the show. And just shout out to Andrew, the producer, the badass in there, making this all flow. Without him, we can't do a show this high quality, this high a level. If you've been watching for a while, if you've been a fan of the Gray Area, you've really noticed the production quality. Tim has done an insane amount of work when it comes to getting things like these coordinated backgrounds where we're in the TV and it looks all cool, it looks all straight. We've moved from StreamYard to this. It's only getting better. It's only getting more improvements every single time that we're on air.
And I'll be on air more. I'm just, again, I'm spending a lot of time trying to get the show right. We're bringing in new people on the team. We're having help with people who really just want to contribute and help us grow specifically, and people who invest in us. We're going to invest in those people as well. We really care about the people that help us out.
Let's close out with this. This is just funny, and this is why sometimes it's funny to have a funny profile name. From Netanyahu B. Benjamin, a great boost from the AIPAC lobby would get you to 1 million subscribers by the end of the week. Consider being loyal to Israel. You're right. Well, the problem is we're not loyal to any country but our own, right? And that's the truth at the end of the day. We're loyal to America, and beyond even that, we're loyal to, humanity and people, and making sure that we're all able to live a life we're valued for being human.
I bet if I went online and said some pretty controversial stuff, I'd get to 1K real fast. But I refuse to sell my soul.
We talked about this.
I literally could go out there as a black man and one up Candace Owen and say some crazy stuff, but I won't do it because that's slop. I'm being me.
And people are going to like you for being you. They're going to like me for being me. They're going to like us for being us, and they're going to like the show for being the show. And we're not like Tim Pool, or we're giggling about we're making so much money. We're not doing that. We're doing this because we care. We're both successful. We both have careers, businesses, both the things that we're doing. We came together to do this show because we knew it would be a great show. So thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right.
Out.
Yeah, Andrew, go ahead.
Modern life has left us out of balance. Long ago it was once said, certain remedies could grant a man the vitality of a horse. For over 6,000 years, these natural remedies have been harvested and tested by generations. Why create complex formulas when nature's roots are still in our hands? Try Primal Core. Ancient remedies for modern life.